Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the GRAPPL Weekend Show for Thursday, the 30th of January, 2025. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty.
And hello, Matty. Yeah,
hello.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had you on a weekend show, mate. Must be a Fed weekend. Must be a big weekend. I feel a bit weird. I'm a bit lower in the chair. I'm sitting in one of Steph's chairs here. I'm having a bit of a move around, getting ready for move out in a couple of months. So apologies for the slight delay getting started. A few technical difficulties, not chair related, but good to have you on a Thursday, mate.
Yeah, good to see you, Ben, as always, in 2025. It's it's what is it? What do we say? It's a new year, same Ben, but it's a new year, new Matty. The way I'm nice to you, Ben, this year. So, and we get the music twice.
Hey, there we go. That shows we got you on. It's a celebration. But new Matty, what's new about Matty other than like you pretend to be nice to me? Is that all it is? Is that all we've got?
Yeah, that's it, really, Ben. Yeah, that's my New Year's resolution, to be nicer to you, mate. But it has been a long, but Survivor Series, or maybe the first Saturday night's main event. Maybe last time was on a weekend show. It's, as all the jokes go around, Ben, it's like January the 83rd, isn't it? Like it's been. But to be fair, it hasn't been that long. I think it's gone quick this January for once. I don't know about yourself.
I suppose. Well, I mean, again, it shows technically in February, but I suppose that counts. But you know, it's like Christmas, mate. You like, I don't know if you're Father Christmas or the Easter Bunny. We see your WrestleMania time, and we see your Royal Rumble time, and that's pretty much how these weekend shows go. But how's your week been, mate? How have you been? What have you been up to? We missed you on a pre-show this week as well. Don't know what you had for tea. Don't know what you've been watching. I don't know where you're up to with Sopranos. I don't know if anything's going on with you. We could just WhatsApp and converse like away from podcasts, but that's not going to work.
No, I had a work meeting that went on for. That did feel like it went on forever, the whole of January, but had to do that. But what did we have while we were in work? That was one of the perks of being there at a staff meeting. There was chicken biryani.
Are you in charge of what you order? Because I imagine you probably are. I imagine you've wrangled that bit of power. Any bit of power that slightly benefits you, I imagine you've got. Sounds familiar. I don't know why, but go on.
No, you know what? No, it's the menus get done, but like. It's obviously all stuff, but there was a chicken biryani, there was a beef curry, and there was a veg pasta. So I had a mix, but didn't have no veg pasta, but I had a bit of chicken biryani with a little bit of beef curry on top. And it went down a storm, but it was good, Ben. And Sopranos, season 2, episode 8 I'm on. So I'm like midway through season 2. It's I'm like you, I think when you were going through your rewatch, it's not bad, because you said you had a little bit with season 2, if I'm not mistaken. It's not bad by any means. It's just... Even though there is stuff it just feels a bit different. It's not as fast. Yeah, it is a faster pace. But the things that are bubbling underneath are very good. But there's just not enough of it. So yeah, it's a bit of a. Still great though. Still enjoying it. Tony's just, how funny is he, Ben? Seriously, like, honest to God.
The only person I know who've watched Sopranos and it's become a comedy for them. But I can kind of get what you mean.
That was hilarious, Benno. When he's just telling his son all shit, the way he talks, he's hilarious, mate.
Is he a good dad? I'm not sure if he's a good dad or not.
Up to now he is, Ben. That's the whole point of the show, isn't it? He's got two sides to him, and I think he is a good dad. I think he is.
Is he a good dad to Chrissy Maltasanti? You stay tuned and you will find out, mate, as you go. But yeah, there is something about that season 2. It is just a bit. I feel like it's almost like, you know, when you get sometimes a show that you're really into and like they change the writers or something like that, or it just feels like the network have gotten too involved. I don't know if it's necessarily that, or maybe it's just that challenge of they weren't expecting season 1 to be as well received as it was and to go as well as it did. Yeah. And then it's pressured, isn't it, to come back with like a second season. I feel like maybe that pressure they buckled under a little bit. It's like you said, still good, still better than most TV shows ever.
Still very good.
But there is an obvious difference.
You can tell it's not like, I don't know what the word, but as you say with season 2, you have to introduce new characters. You have to like make them go in different directions, even though the core's still there. Because I couldn't believe it. I don't think we spoke since I finished season 1. How happy was the ending in season 1? I was expecting death and grimness and everything.
Can't remember how season 1 ends.
They're just all having a meal in Artie's. They're just all
with the storm. Yeah, is that season 1? Yeah. Okay, yeah, they all come in and it's like one of those weird dreams, isn't it, where everyone's there. It's like us at the copper box, like turn over my shoulder and like fuck. There's just every there's an Ogden over there and there's like, oh, there's Joe, oh, there's Hamlet, there's you and Crewy. Like it's like that, but it's real. I suppose real. It's not one of Tony's dreams. You haven't got to that bit. Yeah, the best season ender. I don't want to ruin for you, but there's a great like moment. I think it might actually be the end of season 2. It's just one of my favorite scenes, and when you see it, you'll recognize it from maybe some of the pictures I took when I was in New Jersey. So we have to get you back to New York now, aren't we? Get you back to New York, New Jersey. Go to the. Would if you went to Tony's house? Would you wear the bathrobe to get the photo? Because I saw a bloke who did that on one of my film pages.
Of course I would. With that,
could imagine in the Matty bathrobe paper. What paper would it be, though? Yeah. What paper would it be? The Racing Post, the Mirror? Which paper it chose? The Echo?
I mean, you're asking me these days for papers.
What was the paper?
Can I still say the Daily Star? That was the only paper I ever read. Can I still say that?
Does it count as red, mate? Look at the pictures, I think is what you say.
I like insert page, and then I like when I was into like the showbiz stuff years ago, used to read all that, the music, well, they say the music stuff, me horoscopes, the sport, and we were done. That's it. I just got no time for reading the news, Ben. I'll watch it, I won't read it. Come on.
Were you ever a Pink Echo man? Would you ever get that on a Saturday night? Was you
yeah,
you know?
I like that, Ben. That was good. Because you're always like the local games, didn't like your school teams and that, so I'd always look at the local.
People won't know actually what the Pink Echo is, really. I'm sure we brought it up on pre-shows before, but basically
just
in Liverpool.
Football echo,
sure, it happened everywhere else, didn't it? Like our daily paper, the Liverpool Echo, had like a Saturday night edition that came out printed on pink paper. I don't know. I think it was a rush print job, wasn't it? Because they got it out with all the football results in it from that day, which was like a technological marvel at that point. Between that and the pools, it was like we were living in 1990, which is what we were living in. But it was like, when my dad brought that home, it was like, wow, how amazing is that? It's got a picture of Daniel Amakachi. I was in the ground and I saw him score like 5 hours ago. How was that possible? Like it was a beautiful thing.
Oh, it was good. As I say, I just used to look for our school and local schools and just see like for a bit of banter how they got on in the local football games. That was it for me more than the Premier League. But it was simpler times, Ben, as they say, simpler times, mate.
I just think of a pink chair, mate. I've just realised it's been exposed here. Little cables all over and moving around. You might notice some differences in backgrounds on some of the podcasts coming up as I get set to get out of here. But yeah, I've got to say one of those podcasts actually will be doing that, and one of the reasons I was a bit frazzled getting us ready to go live tonight, mate, is I was just finishing my homework. We will have out before the Royal Rumble. I think it's always good to get our flashback rumbles out before the Rumble itself. I always feel like it's like Christmas, innit? Once it gets to Boxing Day, nobody cares about Christmas anymore. And I feel the same way about a Royal Rumble, so we're anxious to get our flashback Royal Rumble out a little bit early this week. Unfortunately, we've had some scheduling issues, haven't we, Matty, which have meant we haven't been able to nail down getting Sarah Parkin on, so that's set to go by the wayside. But we've got a cracking replacement, haven't we, Matty, in Cat?
I mean, I don't want to kiss him as the substitute because he's a bit more than that. But whenever you need him, like,
I mean, we went to him before Gareth and JP, so I don't know what that says. We didn't even ask them, did we?
Like we went to him in Birmingham for Everton, and even though we didn't go to him sometimes, he'd contact us, and he was just there. There was like 7 of them that weekend, wasn't he? He was just everywhere, showing us around. The great Liam himself, LF Doom, is going to
Mr. Time.
Mr. Time is going to be there, as you say. A Royal Rumble 2001 truther like myself, Benno. So hopefully we can. I hope you have as well. Don't give nothing away, but I hope you've been converted. But it's
still got 5 minutes left, mate. Yeah. I'll be watching that later. It's the reason we're not doing that one live. Next month, Everett will be live. This month, we're still getting our shit together. But yeah, or we said that actually when we were having a nice. I'm sure we'll mention it on the podcast. Nice little Birmingham bracky with Liam. Definitely wants to get him on more stuff that wasn't just time. That was wrestling related. So he was our first choice. So yeah, no offense to JP and Gareth, but you know, thought it'd be a good time, like I say, to get a proper 2001 truther out there. I think there's a few of them, to be honest. When we did the poll, was it last year we did the Rumble 2007
your head was gone, weren't it? Because like obviously
I was shocked how well it did.
The reason why like I want to do it is like I'm sick to death, as good as it is, of 1992 just being the IWC, just everyone's go-to Rumble. It's like, no, there's more Rumbles than this. I know maybe in recent years they haven't been great, but there's a few Rumbles that like for me are better, and this is one.
There's a pop quiz for you. Pollock and Thurston on their show were going through like the Rumble numbers, and I think it's the 1991 Rumble, like the pay-per-view buys. Say, I don't know the exact numbers. 1990 is like 200,000 odd buys. 1992, the famous one, the Flair one, also about 200,000 buys. The 1991 Rumble's got like double. It's got like nearly 400,000, and Mr. WrestleNomics couldn't figure it out. Like, what's with the anomaly with the 1991 Royal Rumble? Are we missing out? Is that the real IWC Rumble? Is big Iraq Raw fans out there, or what's the deal? Warrior Savage, Warrior Slaughter, sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's a big time as well, Ben. But yeah, it is a bit.
It wasn't really though, was it?
But it's double. Time? No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still. Yeah, maybe if you've crunched.
I genuinely don't know the answer. There might not be an answer. It just might be an anomaly or something up with the data. not to spoil like a Benno and Hamflet in your house, but we were looking at one where Meltzer got fed by WWE, the in your house 4 one with Diesel versus Bulldog, literally up until the last point, the worst buy rate WWE ever got for a pay-per-view. They told Meltzer they did 200,000 buys and stuck to that story for about 2 months until he finally got the truth out that it was about 80 or 90. So it could be one of them anomalies where it's just never been corrected on the record. But yeah, they didn't know the answer. I wondered if you might. Don't know.
It's a good rumble. No, it's one of the lesser ones that I've like seen the most. Them rumbles, because I've been flicking through because they're all going up. I mean, obviously they're all on Netflix, but all the actual Royal Rumble matches themselves are going on the Vault channel this week. There's a load been put up. So yeah, it's one that I don't visit often, Ben, but it's a good one. Like,
we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll figure it out. Maybe by the time we do the Rumble 2001 flashback. But yeah, look forward to chatting with you. Find out if I fall in line with you guys. It's the Drew Carey Rumble for the non-IWC people, but for the people who are, it is apparently the greatest. So we're going to be chatting there. What else is on it? Kurt Angle versus Triple H. Hardy's versus
Dudley's v Edge and Christians for the tag in a straight up tag match, and Benoit Jericho ladder match as well, isn't it, for the IC?
Yeah, that's one of the well remembered ones as well. Spoilers, it was about as good as I remember, so I'm looking forward to chatting. But how did I remember it? That's the question. But yeah, Liam has stepped up, so we're excited to record that with Liam. We'll get it out to you all before the weekend hits, and then after that, mate, it's dealer's choice. Still need to figure out my choice as well for next week. So
okay.
Lots to look forward to. I've got a little short list. 6 months ago, at the end of the last dealer's choice, I knew exactly what I was picking. Things have changed since then, unfortunately. If it had been that week, I'd have known and I'd been flying. But things have changed.
How many have you got, or have you actually got nothing down? Or have you got a few?
Got about 6.
Oh,
6 options down.
Bloody hell.
Well, this is the thing. I think with dealer's choice, it should be something we're either not immediately going to get to, or something that's like putting you guys through pain and me joy. That's pretty much my two kind of ones I want to go. I don't want to pick one where it's like, oh, we'll do WrestleMania 17. It's like, I mean, we're going to do that at some point, aren't we? Yeah. Somehow we haven't.
We have done it. No, we've done it.
No, we haven't.
I mean, mate, you need to start looking at our archives. Me and you.
I'm usually the one who remembers.
No. Me and you done that in your flat.
Was that one? Oh, maybe that's why I don't remember. With JP on the
maybe we need to where like albums get remastered. I think we need to remaster that and do a proper one, Benno. I think we've done that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one who's having a go at you for forgetting the shows we've done. I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Sorry, chat letting us know there we have. Okay, I'll have to listen to that. Sounds like a great show, Matty. Where can I possibly get that? Oh wait, they're already patrons, but patreon.com/GRAPPL. Get it there. We have done 17. Sorry everyone. Okay, fair enough. Getting bombarded in the chat here, but I'm sure it was a great show. But yes, I'll figure something anyway, something that we've again either won't do soon or will put you through pain. They're my two options. But if anyone's got any suggestions, let me know. My DMs are always open. Be interested if anybody thinks of something you think I'm not maybe thinking of there as well. But that'll be revealed on the Spotlight pre-show. Ben says, we finally reached post levels. Jesus Christ, I think those lads have done a lap now. They're going back around, doing old reviews of things they've already reviewed. We'll review the reviews. That's what the real podcasters do, Matty. We'll get there eventually.
Another thing why I made up with doing Royal Rumble 2001 is we can tick that off the dock. We can actually get that off the list as well. So always
your OCD, mate. That's all it's about. That's the only reason it's there. But there we go. So plenty coming up. Rumble 2001 out before the weekend, and on that note, we should get into some of the news that's been going on. And there is only one place that we can possibly start, Matty, with the biggest news story of the week, as Paul Triple H Levesque has been dragged kicking and streaming, mate. He's absolutely furious to the 2025 WWE Hall of Fame. This report coming from PW Insider initially, and it has now been backed up by Sean Ross Sapp and Dave Meltzer as well. Apparently, Stephanie McMahon, The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels surprised Paul Triple H Levesque with the announcement during, a company town hall that happened to be filmed, that also happened to have his music ready to be queued up for him to come out to. What a strange thing. The man in charge has nothing about this. Apparently, we said he was going to kill Nick Khan for this happening, and did play it up as a complete surprise. I don't think they've formally announced it yet as a Hall of Fame, although he's done a video thanking them for surprising him. I'm just waiting for my video, Matty. I'm waiting for you, Gareth, and JP to knock at my door and be like, Benno, GRAPPL Hall of Fame 2025, you're the first inductee. I mean, I assume that's going to be the case.
And you'll be kicking and screaming like Triple H as well.
No, again, it'll be my idea. I'll be like, lads, just come round, we'll pretend it will work it, and we'll make it work. My first reaction to this was, what a fucking cunt. Like,
hilarious.
This guy, mate. This guy.
No, it's hilarious because no matter like, and if you're going all think like he does deserve it, but you just know that this, no matter how he spins it or you can say he's surprised, you just know he's behind it. The first chance he can get, he's put himself in it. But it's hilarious though, Ben, and I'm all for all the how many times he's going to turn up, he's going to announce it, he's going to milk this. Oh mate, it's just, I was just laughing my head off when I seen it. There's no other reaction. Like just
he got his induction last year when Paul Heyman did his fucking lovey-dovey speech about him. That was enough, was it not? His inductions every week, every TV show, every Netflix. Used to be every fucking takeover. Like Jesus Christ, like it's so funny. Like the psychology of the man that would have been if we hadn't done it. Triple H 2000 was one that I always had down as a possible dealer's choice one for me because I love Triple H in 2000s. But like that entire run afterwards and the Reign of Terror, it's all ego, isn't it? And like I feel like there's parts of Triple H.
We've definitely done that show as well.
I'm not saying we haven't done it.
Oh, sorry, mate.
I'm not going that insane. Not that senile. What I'm saying is like there's been different points in Triple H's career where like I think the ego's been a positive. In the year 2000, it was a positive. When it came to the Reign of Terror, it was very much a negative. When it came to pretty much the 20 years in between, mostly a negative. When it came to NXT though, and he was, you know, his ego kind of got represented by the cool young indie stars, your Sami Zayn, your Pacs, all of those types of guys. All of a sudden his ego was almost a positive, wasn't it? Because it was like they were a representation of him, therefore like he could push them to the forefront. But he'd always be hiding in the background. He'd always make sure, foreground even, in plain sight, he'd get his name on there. And the same has happened on the main roster. Like obviously his creative input, whatever you think about him in WWE and all his limitations, which I think SB3 had some really good takes on Spotlight this week. He still, you know, has improved things, but he can't help but we're on Netflix. I've got to come out and get my little piece. We're having executive producers credits on screen now. Like these are levels of stuff that even, like, dare I say it, the most disgusting, worst human being any of us have probably ever followed closely, and Vince McMahon didn't do. Vince McMahon never wanted to be in the Hall of Fame, did he? Vince McMahon never put his name up as executive producer.
You couldn't mention his name, could you not? When people were doing speeches.
And that's its own level of insane as well, isn't it? Along with all the other horrendous things about Vince McMahon. But like, as far as egos goes, I think Triple H might even have him beat.
Yeah, but it's insecurity, Ben. Whether you say it's ego,
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
it's the only word. He's the most insecure, and I like Triple H. Like I'm one of the. I like him. I think he, you know, I've liked him more times than I've hated him throughout his career. And it's but it is. He's always been insecure. It's the fact that he, as much as I like him, he was never the star of like your Rock, your Austin. But he's always WWE have always pushed him like that. I've always announced him like that. So when he hears that he's not, he's just got that insecurity that he's like, how many times we said it, Ben, over the years, the video game stuff where he couldn't be seen fucking, you know, getting on top of in a video game. Some of the stories Stephen Richards and the likes have told about backstage where like his quads aren't the biggest, someone else's quads were the biggest in the locker room, and then he had to get them took off TV. It's just all stupid stuff like that. Insecure is the word to describe him. And once, as you said there about Vince, even like the first chance he can get Triple H, he's put himself in. That's just unbelievable.
First clean year, isn't it?
This is it. It's like.
Do you think it's because Dwayne said no? I saw a couple people theorize that.
I don't think it's because he said no, but I think he's going in there before Dwayne. It's stuff like that, Ben, insecurity like that like, and even like I was thinking about it, and maybe like I always had Cena going down this year. Going in this year, but you could do that next year, couldn't you? You know what I mean? When he's actually retired, do you know what I mean? So I'll take that away, not take that away from him, but fucking hell, mate, it's insecure. I keep saying that word. It's just, it's hilarious though. At the same time, I can't help but laugh.
Don't you think it's funny with the Hall of Fame though as well? Like it's proper diminishing returns, isn't it? Like the amount of like at least the first, you know, when it became obviously there's the bad old days when fucking Sputnik Monroe and all of that went in like the 90s, and it was just a bunch of old men in
Albano in
three-piece suits, yeah, and, like on WrestleMania. You get like 10-second clips of it on Raw because they felt embarrassed to show you that fucking Captain Lou Albano stumbling out and fucking the Grand Wizard and all blokes like that, plus the wrestler, the Grand Manager, the Grand Wizard. Anyway, you'd have all of that. Like I feel like the years where they monetized it and made that a live event, I feel like the first 5 to 10 years they just ran through everyone, didn't they? Where it was like now the classes are getting smaller and the pickings are getting slimmer. It's probably one positive. It's probably part of it. Like, well, who else could headline it?
Exactly,
at this
no
point?
one else to go
with. Was it Heyman the headliner last year? I think he was, wasn't he?
He was, but he was first out. I think they do it that way now, don't they? Where they, like the main event goes on first type thing.
So there is that.
Who do
you think will put him in though? Like Sean? Is it just a given?
got to be Sean or Stephanie. I mean, it'd be one of them. It might be a joint, it might be all taken, it might be all three of them. You just don't know. They might have. That's what we mean Insecure. He'll have more than one person inducting him. He'll have 2 or 3. He could come over the top, couldn't he? Like,
whole click. We're getting a click photo, aren't we? All the lads, suits on, all of that.
How long is the speech going to be as well, though? You know what I mean? It's going to be fucking 30 minutes old school promo, I tell you.
He's only got WrestleMania to organise. You know? Are you going to be there? Bigger question. Are you going to be there, Matty? That's what
Of course I am. Of course I am. That's what we're waiting to see. And to be fair, we can say all this, and I might speak for myself here, but he does deserve to go in. That's the thing. He really does deserve to go in.
By their metrics, yeah.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. So.
We didn't even consider him in ours, but by their metrics, yeah. He didn't even get a vote, did he? He wasn't even considered.
But as I say, it is, you know, it's going to be, whether you like it or not, a newsworthy speech for sure, Ben, for love or hate. It will.
Mate,
it will.
Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry, or are you gonna bow to him like you did Meltzer when we saw him going to
I'll probably bow, but I'll be laughing because whatever he's saying, as we know with Insecurity, we'll just know. I'll just be laughing, thinking this is just fucking hilarious at the same time. But yeah, it's I'll see who else goes in. That's what I mean. Once again, will he have people who are like in his mind so lower than him, or will he even attempt to put like half decent stars in this class? Now we'll have to wait and see for all that. You know, so.
Be all his favourites, aren't he? Yeah. Okay. It'll be everyone who ever. That's the thing. Anyone who's got a job backstage, if you looked at Triple H and shook his hand backstage in early WCW, job for life, innit? Terry Taylor, William Regal, all those types. It'll be all those guys, won't it? Regal will go in. He'll find a way. All his mates.
But the only people I can think of off the top of my mind is like Demolition on in. I know they've got a bit of heat with the company, or did. Is Luger in there? I don't think Luger's in yet, is he? So you've got to feel
it's
like
a tough one that though with the Liz, isn't it? It brings up all those old stories.
This is it. So no one else comes to mind straight away. Obviously, then like Batista. Remember that year COVID where he was meant to go in? He hasn't had the call back to go in. Batista, and then you got your Cenas and the like. So yeah, there's not many old timers left really. It's more our era now.
Got to wait for everyone to get old, and they're all still wrestling, aren't they?
Exactly. They're all in AEW to be fair.
Hey, when we do that Rumble 2001, I think WWE might have them beat for current day stars in that Rumble. We'll count them. There's a teaser.
We will count them. We will.
I think it might be a tie on this one. Honestly, you might be surprised. But anyway, on that note, there we go. I'm sure Matty will look forward to it. But speaking of Royal Rumbles, and of course we'll be previewing in full, the Royal Rumble card later on. It is a news story in itself, though. The current numbers for Royal Rumble tickets: 63,696. It'd be 64,000, and they'd shift those extra 4 if Drew McIntyre was a draw. The cunt. But 64,915 is the setup, which I imagine they will hit. There's 1,219 tickets currently available, so they just can't possibly be hot, can they, Matty? I think that's the rule. But in all truth, like 64,000, if you hit 64,000, like that will literally be like the WWE record for attendance outside of a WrestleMania. And you add on the fact that like the ticket pricing, as you well know, for WrestleMania coming up. I saw Martin saying in our group, what are the single day tickets going for WrestleMania, like $300, something like that. And you were all surprised how cheap they were. Ticket prices are up. The gate's going to be gigantic, and they're going to be, they're going to be calling this all types of records, and they are going to be legitimate. It was 48,000 for last year's Rumble. Just shows you, doesn't it? Like what a hot ticket the Rumble is, and yeah, what a hot company it is right now. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your position in the aisle.
I was going to say, dare I mention this to Gareth, because you're thinking it's not doing well because it hasn't sold out, Benno. You'll
find a way, won't he? Crunch those numbers.
I fucking love them, like, but it's as you say, Ben. What can you say? Like, I know this isn't even about like, it's just how hot it is, mate. It's the hottest ticket in town. It genuinely is, and even I couldn't believe it, Ben. Like, because I hadn't checked the numbers for a while. Last time I checked, they were at like 45, 50,000. I thought, well, come go time, it'll be late 50s. But when I seen it past the 60,000 mark, even I was like, fucking hell, this is next level stuff. Like, so. Can't say
it's funny. Another thing Paul and Thurston were talking about was like, it's interesting when you look at like the the numbers of the Rumbles, and like when business kind of picks up in the Attitude Era, the Rumble numbers pick up as far as pay-per-view goes. There's like some 500,000 buys and then some 600s, and while everything else falls, Rumble and WrestleMania never really do. Rumble and WrestleMania, up until the point we carried on getting pay-per-view numbers till about 2014, they stay high, and like it's weird because it's like when we think of the Rumble, we remember the 90s Rumbles, really. We don't really remember the 2000s Rumbles. And I think that's most people. I think that's not where the nostalgia lies for people. But clearly the brand became a big thing, as it's probably people around our age. We all got older and we all had nostalgia for it, and then you combine that nostalgia with the current day guys in 99, 2000, 2001, and then add, you know, years since. It's that no matter how lapsed you are a WWE fan, and I've had a couple of, well, maybe one point in my life where I was a lapsed fan, what you come back for? Mania and Rumble, like, and it's withstood it, despite there not being that many good Rumbles over it, like I'd say the last decade or so.
Yeah, you're right there. It is. Like, I have my mate Buff, who like every year comes back out of hiding for Royal Rumble WrestleMania season. Guy today in work, volunteer who comes in, like I brekkie with him, and I was asking him about it, and I was like, oh, and he didn't know it was this Saturday. I said, Royal Rumble this Saturday. He said, there's me and the kids sorted Sunday morning watching it. It's like, it is that better. It dragged, and it is like, and obviously WrestleMania is the big one. But my dream as well is to go to a Royal Rumble. It's still got that thing for me, and as you say, it hasn't.
So you get that Saudi visa, mate. Yeah, good luck with
that. I know, not going. But it's
killing
like,
it, aren't they? They're killing it. There's obviously,
it is.
Well, there's worse things to kill over there, but like, there's like, it's a minor point, but it's a real negative, isn't it? Next year.
It is, but it is, as you say, Ben, it's that feeling it'll always have, and as you say there, it hasn't been great. Like Triple H, one of Triple H's things, he hasn't really booked a great Rumble, because you know it's been a foregone conclusion, and we'll go into that more when we preview the show. But it'll always have that nostalgia factor, as you said there, and people will always come back for the Royal Rumble, mate. It's one of them brands, isn't it?
Who's going to win the Royal Rumble? Not the British Bulldogs, sadly.
I know, yeah. What a life. Yeah.
Better British wrestler, though, isn't he, Bulldog? On that note, obviously, we'll be previewing the Rumble later on, but some other related to the pay-per-view news. They've announced Clash in Paris as a PLE coming up in August. Weirdly, apparently they've not announced the venue for Backlash yet, and there's a couple in between. We don't have an exact date on yet, but apparently we're figuring that one out. It's going to be Sunday, August the 31st, the largest indoor arena in Europe with a listed capacity of 40,000. Strangely, mate, the same month that AEW is coming over for Forbidden Door. How weird. I mean, it's definitely part of the thinking, but yeah, I think they'll probably hit that 40,000 that they get to be loud like last time, and yeah, obviously shows you, doesn't it? Obviously, like that Leon show, which I think was among your better shows of the year, and one of people's worst shows of the year. Bloodline tag, I think that's the split it is. What was the main of that again? That was Cody Kevin
AJ,
Owens?
Cody AJ carried him, but it was
oh, not that one again. Don't start me.
But it was that 475 opener where, as you say, the Bloodline tag. But it just shows you again, Ben, it's this strategy they've got. They're doing it before Mania, going all around Europe at Raws and Smackdowns, aren't they? And they're continuing to do that, as JP's always saying when we're on Spotlight, this strategy of going all over the world, all over Europe. It's, as you say, they're killing it, Ben.
Don't they do like some other European cities though, like just keep it fresh, you know? Go to. So what did they do last year? They did France. We did Berlin. Did they do anywhere else? Italy's one you would think they would be doing at some point.
Yeah, I think they're going Italy for Raw and Smackdown, though, aren't they, on the build to Mania? I think they're going in for that. But Leon was bent. That set the precedent. Like, that was the loudest. People don't like the way the fans try and hijack, or if that's how they interpret it. But they set the precedent this year for that, last year, sorry, for that. So
yeah, how did I not get straight to AJ on that one? Because he's literally, whether he's injured or not, he's got to be on that, hasn't he? Like, you got to work him in there. 100%.
The French have earned that
Dublin,
one, so.
Yeah, it'd be good. He makes a good point there. They should do that at some point. But there you go. The Evil Empire keeps winning, except, mate, in one department, where I told you, mate, business was falling, and they're going out. They're just year on year, mate. They're just fucked, aren't they? Viewership for episode 3 of Raw on Netflix. This not being obviously this week's Raw. I think it would be last week's the January 20th edition of Raw. 7th on Netflix's top 10, mate. Apparently Netflix says on that chart that it generated 3 million views globally, down from the first 2 episodes that had 5.9 million views and 3.7 million views in their respective weeks. The views are apparently a definition that has total hours viewed divided by total runtime. So not exactly how the Nielsen numbers worked with TV, and obviously a lot of the conversation coming out of the first Raw on Netflix was about households rather than individual eyeballs, and that being different and all of that stuff. But I mean, 7th in the Netflix chart, we did say it on Spotlight, there's a point where it's not good PR if it starts dropping out of that. Like, it's a quicker not capitulation, but quicker fall than I would have expected. I think everybody expected the week 2 to drop from the monster numbers they touted in week 1. I think that's a given, and it's happened with literally every show you can think of: SmackDown on Fox, Collision, Rampage, Dynamite. Like, that's just what happens, isn't it? It's the Yanks. A lot of it's the way, like it's one of them. I think people. It's like when WWE went out of business and people act like the WWE fans disappeared. Like, they still exist. They're still people. They still tune into a Raw. They tuned into Raw every now and then. They just didn't all at the same time anymore. I think that's what, like, that was the misnomer with Dynamite. It was like, well, they got 1.5 million in the first show. Why can't they do that every week? Because, you know, all 1.5 million of them didn't watch at the same time again another time, or for long enough across a TV show with the way they're measured. Like, that, those numbers just didn't add up again. Sure, all of those 1.5 million people watched another Dynamite or watched a few minutes of another Dynamite, but, you know, there was never that, like, appointment like what happens with the first time. But with all that said, yeah, it's there shouldn't be an extreme reaction to it yet, I don't think, but it has fallen a bit quicker than people thought.
It has, and it's one of them things, Ben. I mean, I'm obviously not just sticking up for it, but as you say,
you are.
Get that, I'm not. When
you don't have to, mate. You could just join in and go, yeah, that's not good, is it? You can just say that.
I'm not. No, of course it's not good, because you're up against literally everything on Netflix, aren't you? You're up
it is the competition.
You know, no, of course it is. No,
was there a fair over the road? Was there?
But the first fucking, you know, I'm not saying the novelty value of this is like the first one was gonna be with the hype, with like, oh, wrestling's on Netflix now. Then more of your casuals that aren't interested, as you said there, aren't going to tune in every week. They aren't going to do it. They'll dip in. But
it's a big fall from week 2 to week 3, isn't it? 3.7 to 3.
I can't deny that. But it's like you might get one spike all of a sudden where everyone does tune in at the same time, and you go, oh, that's a bit of a high number for this week. And it'll all pick back up, probably, well, hopefully, in my defence here, like on the WrestleMania run-in. So, as you say, not a capitulation. Don't get the panic stations out yet, but at the same time, it is a bit of a drastic drop, to be fair.
And it's tough to measure because they're not giving the numbers out, because these are global numbers. These aren't just America, and these aren't, again, it's the households versus individual people stuff, and the different ways they calculate what a view is. Like I say, that Netflix way of calculating it isn't the same way Nielsen would, with their 6,000 old school boxes, of which they're getting less and less.
People are clicking on like PS and I Love the Boys or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They're viewing Benno, you're up against all this type of stuff now. You know what I mean?
Simon mentions here, I seem to remember saying Dynamite was up against everything else on TV.
No, but you can control what you watch on Netflix more than you can on TV, can't you? They're still putting.
You know what they need to do, mate?
You can literally control what you put on.
It's Big Bang Theory on Netflix, because they need to sort it out. They need to get it on there. If not, oh, there you go, man. Why is there even a problem? They've got Friends as well. The Friends leading, that comes up every time. Every time I load up my fucking Netflix, I got a little picture of Ross in the corner and a white t-shirt. I don't know why it really wants me to watch Friends. And then I struggle along trying to find the fucking. The Netflix UI is amazing, but it is actually a little bit difficult when you want to get to an individual show. Like trying to get that Rumble 2001. I was clicking, like, depending on the page you're on, you either click on where it says Royal Rumble Live on Saturday, and it takes you to the old Rumble episodes, or sometimes if you click on that, it just takes you in and out of your watch list. I don't think they've nailed it completely when it comes to, like, the In Your Houses. They can be a little, because it's not a TV show, is it? It's not season 2, episode 7. It struggles a little bit, actually, with the catalogue and all them.
But it is, Ben. But every time I put it on, though, mate, when I watch Raw, which you do watch Raw now, Ben, and SmackDown still, obviously. No, I genuinely do. On Raw, we'll go through it in a minute when we're talking about that. We do a little breakdown. But it's like, I just find it so, even though it's the same as like the network in a way of just pressing the app, pressing a button, it's just something about it on Netflix that's just a bit crisper, a bit fresher for me. Maybe it's a placebo in my own head.
No, the actual watching of it, yeah, I agree.
It's fucking, like it is. It's just...
Well, it's best in class, isn't it? It's Netflix.
Match made in heaven, Ben. That's what it should be on here.
We'll see, mate. A few more numbers like this, and they'll be
off.
They'll be off to what's one of the shit ones? Tubi, Amazon Prime. No, that's too big, isn't it?
Amazon's all right.
What was the one that comedians in cars getting coffee used to be on with Jerry Seinfeld? It was like the free one. Some of those shit ones, you know. It'll end up on Pluto TV or something.
Is it something Freebie or something? I don't know what's it called.
Freebo. I watched a couple of films over Christmas on them. Yeah.
You see them all, don't you? Your apps that are built into like your Fire Stick. I just never go on them. They just don't entertain them, but they're already there built in. But anyway.
Will you accept defeat if they're not in the top 10 between now and WrestleMania?
Yeah,
this is their hot period. They should stay in
especially
that top 10,
after the chamber building up to WrestleMania. If they're not in the top 10 like every week, then yeah, I'll say, well, something's going on here because that's where you'll get. But it is, Ben. I don't know. It's as you say,
Plex.
It's a different. Yeah,
TNA Plus.
I've got that up now. Fucking good.
Somebody remind me what the comedians in cars driving, having coffee one was. I can't remember. I used to have that. It was great. It was ad supported. Always like those ones, free ones. Maybe we'll see. Sky's not falling yet, though. We'll see if it does. Apparently, Big Bang Theory's on Disney Plus, though. So
I'm sure I seen it on Netflix the other day.
Yeah, that could be a placebo, but I feel like I've seen it too. But it could just be 20 other shit American comedies with laugh tracks over. More of which 5-1. Give it a listen. You'll hear us rant about those. But there we go. On that note, did you have any notes on Raw this week? JP didn't. Got to a midweek news dump this week. I'm not going to go through the results. Does anyone want kayfabe wins and losses? Maybe you do, Matty. Headline's probably Punk at Cody, isn't it? And,
I mean, no, seriously, Ben.
And the general Rumble build.
That Cody Punk thing was incredible. Like, they had one last year before the Rumble, which was good. This was just doubled it and then some. This was incredible stuff. The delivery, the layers to it, the setup, the tease. You know, it was just fucking great. Phil was on form, but Cody record this, Ben, and save this. Even I know we're recording it, but save this. Cody, I thought this was his best he'd been for fucking months on the mic. Genuinely, absolutely fucking incredible he was. It was so good. And as
Can't
you
wait
say,
for Punk and Cody on Saturday, mate. It's going to be great, isn't
it? You've got to deliver. Like, I've seen the odds. Like, we'll go into the odds in a bit. Last time I seen the odds, John Cena was like odds on, like 8-13. Punk's come way in to win this now, so we'll go into the whole Rumble scenario again. Like
I agree with everything you're saying. Obviously, I'm programmed to enjoy it because it's Cody and Punk. And it was every bit Cody and Punk in 2025, wasn't it? It was Punk fluffing a couple of lines, but still getting to the point and still
He kept it on point, Ben. He did.
Yeah, he's still carried by, just how poised he is on the mic and charisma and just that big din. Well, yeah, all of that, well, to an extent. But no, the stuff about being concerned about Cody, that felt like real, didn't it? And it felt like it was it scratched at like a bit more of a human side of Cody, I thought, because you're getting that a bit with the Kevin Owens story, but like I think we were talking about it on Spotlight, in that like Kevin Owens is mostly carrying that feud and Cody mostly is just giving the same promo back. This felt more like the real human being, didn't it? It felt like Punk needled him a little bit, and the way those stories about last year's back and forth promos and them not maybe being able to agree on what they were going to say in them, and Cody kind of standing his ground and Punk wanting to run him down and all of that, and just feel like they're not really. It just feels like a fake friendship, doesn't it? And they played into that. Like they'll tell you they're friends because they come from. It's like no, if they are, they're not mates. The two lads who used to work in the same office. So then they go to the new office, and it's like everyone kind of puts them together and knows they've got history and just assumes they're mates and they talk like the mates. But were they really mates? Were they in those same friend groups?
Two baby faces as well. If we're going kayfabe, that like I've got to get along type thing. So there's loads you can do, and as the chat's saying there, like. Raw set up a lot of this, Ben, for the Rumble and then for WrestleMania.
I like Sami Zayn got a little bit of his own back on Punk as well, because it felt like that Punk promo in the crowd the week before felt like Sami just got a random shot there about him not being on his level, and Sami should be standing up to that. Sami should be saying no, I fucking am. I am a top guy. Like that's what's been so good. Again, jumping ahead to the Rumble preview, that's what's been good about this Rumble build. That there's guys like him, guys like Drew and Seth, who you probably don't think are going to win, but they're on the bubble enough and they're close enough that it could happen.
And they've got reasoning
cases for it.
Reasoning for them to win, that's it as well. So
and things they could do afterwards, crucially as well, that you could 100%. See them being moved into. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's lots going on. That's why I can't wait. And hopefully this time, which once again we're jumping ahead, we can have he can deliver a good Rumble, Triple H.
So to make Gareth happy, because he caught some strays before from your mate, what about the other 2 hours and 50 minutes of Raw?
It's one of them, Ben.
Just as good?
I said, of course, it wasn't as good, but I said this with SmackDown last week, and Raw's not on the level of SmackDown.
I enjoyed J.D. McDonough dying, that was good, but outside
to the degree, but like people, once again, you can't have it both ways, can you? People say, well, these people aren't getting TV time, these people aren't getting used, but then when they get used, it's all filler, it's all this. No, well, I'm enjoying these SmackDowns to see how these guys and gals, when
you're the only one.
Time, if they're getting over or not, Ben, I'm big on that.
There are not two options. There isn't the option of not using them or using them badly. There's not using them or using them well.
What if you get 2 minutes again backstage or a 2-minute match?
It could be consequential. No, but that'd be bad too. Two things can be bad. This is crazy. I hate this logic you come to. How can it not? It's not right. There's plenty of gap between them not being on the show and them being on the show and doing nothing. There's a million other things in the middle that you could do. And just because both are bad doesn't mean they're the only two options.
So what's good then?
Using them in consequential segments that are interesting and make the use of them.
They are using
the 3 hours of of fluff that's on SmackDown at the minute is consequential. You were the only person who thinks that. If you really think that,
I do. I don't agree with it being fluff. They can't be thrown in there with your main eventers because they're already in stuff. So you've got to have them with each other. Because
that's fine. But it could be interesting.
No, but because they're not in there with these stars, it's throwaway. It's fluff. But
no, it's not. You're doing it again. No, there are more than two options. There is not having them wrestle main events or not be on the show. There is them not being on the show and then there's being on the show and being used well in interesting ways. That's like, this is the Raw Week 1 versus Raw Week 2 argument again. They're not getting over. They're doing nothing of interest. They're boring the pants off anyone watching it. People are literally tuning out the show as it goes on. Like those third hours are dying a death because people are bored.
It's 3 hours. It's overall, I agree that it's long, of course, and of course it is every week. That's why Raw's 2.5 now, and even then, at a push,
Raw's way better placed than SmackDown. Yeah, we are just talking SmackDown at the minute.
But I'm saying because we can't change that, and because the 3 hours, we can't change that, can we? So I honestly, genuinely haven't been hating these SmackDowns, like legitimately.
You were literally the only person. I can't think of anyone else who's enjoying them.
But I say, if they were short,
that doesn't mean you're wrong. But like,
yeah, I'm just it's just the way it is. Genuinely.
Again, we're off track. Raw. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed Quavo being on there. If we're going to get back on track, I enjoyed Kaiser getting a full entrance. I saw the clip of that before I saw the segment, and I just assumed that was like somebody done an edit on a fucking SmackDown game. I'm sure Garrett's kids are banging into Kaiser. Him and the other one, what's his name? I Show Speed.
He had this video call with Triple H.
Love these celebs right now, don't they?
Yeah, and once again, this is a big, like, I've seen this being banded around, that this is a bit, what is it, a couple of seconds showing he's in the front row? I don't see a problem with that. I genuinely don't.
Do you see a problem with anything they do?
If it was shit, or if
all right, this is a new segment now. Matty, 3 negatives from the BTV this week. We're not moving on to you, giving
3 negatives. I'm trying to think. I'm genuinely,
all right, one.
Like negatives that done me head in. Nothing's done me head in, no, it hasn't.
There's no negatives.
No,
give me a negative.
Done me head in. Okay, as I say,
I'll give you 12 from Dynamite.
No, but like as I say, if I'm saying it overall, 3 hours of SmackDown is a negative overall. But what? As I said before, you can't change that. So I'm not going to.
Yes, you can use the time a lot better, like the way with Raw the last year or so.
Well, then we'll disagree.
You still haven't given me a negative.
I can't give you one. I've just said I can't really give you something that I was sitting there going, you know what? This is really pissing me off. This is really fucking annoying me. I can't give you one. I genuinely can't. I could give you wrestlers I'm not into, but that's not. It doesn't offend me like it does most people. Then we've established this over the years, surely. You know what I mean? And I'm not a positive, and I need to say positive Pete, positive Polly. Just
everything's good, nothing's good. I feel like that's something we've said before. Okay, fair enough. Well, there you go. There's Raw, the perfect wrestling show that was 3 hours long.
No, see, you're twisting it now. You're twisting it now.
That's what you said.
I didn't say if it was great. I just said nothing done me head in. So as you say, both things can be the same, can't it, Ben? Your line, can that not be the same? Come on.
Okay, exactly. So yeah, big into Drew and Sammy. Sure, yeah. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. It's Bianca and Naomi. Bit deadlock, wasn't it? Yeah, Rey Mysterio against Xavier Woods. Not sure that Xavier Woods character is going anywhere. Yeah,
Kofi's well better. It's a different planet when these two are on screen. Like it's like Xavier Woods is trying to play heel, where Kofi Kingston, for someone who's been basically a career babyface, he's fucking a natural at being heel. He's so good. And once again, this is something about Triple H's thing. I'm talking about Kofi Kingston in an absolute positive shining light in 2025. That should be applauded, for me, because he's just been unbelievable as a heel. And once again, the bell's
speaking of unbelievable, Lara Valkyria's promo, unbelievable, I'm sure, on Raw.
No, you twisted it out. I didn't say it was amazing. I just said
you can't name one thing that was bad.
No, it wasn't. Not bad. No, it's not bad, is it? That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. Like I said, that was my defense of SmackDown as well, and Raw has been. I thought Raw was very good this week. Very good.
Keep this energy for Dynamite when we get there. There we go. There's Raw. Mini Raw review for you. I agree. Punk and Cody was fantastic. Rest of the show was pretty middling. And I felt like that the week before as well. And yeah, maybe need to watch that. But you can use the roster and use them well. There are not only 2 options. You can't. How's that? How can you argue that point?
You want to use them well? I'll toss it to you because you're watching it these days. So
okay. The entire women's division as a start.
Okay, the women's division, they didn't promote the Royal Rumble before.
The ex-Judgment Day are swimming in fucking nothing right now. The entire SmackDown mid-card, LA Knight down, are doing nothing right now.
Doing nothing, but they're facing each other, Ben.
Yeah, completely inconsequential matches that don't mean anything the week after.
This is what
Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, wait, no, you're getting it twisted again. We mightn't like these people involved, Benno. We mightn't love, give me anyone, Los Garza. We mightn't love Pretty Deadly. We mightn't love the Machine Guns at this stage of the career. But you're saying these matches... Machine Guns have
You're chasing Simon off here now as well.
Wait there, but Machine Guns have won 3 matches in 3 weeks in a row to get this tag team title shot. So them tag matches that were inconsequential haven't been. So that's what I'm trying to say. These matches are... Do
you think they could make the television interesting while they're doing that at the same time?
That's fair enough then. Say that.
Oh, is it fair enough?
No. You can say uninteresting because you're not interested, but inconsequential, I don't agree with. That's where we've got to get it twisted, Ben.
Well, I look forward to these stories being
words
paid
matter, as you told me years ago. Words matter what you say. So here we go.
I stand by everything I said. And it just says everything. You can't name me anything. Well, we'll move on. I'm sure we'll have the same energy with Dynamite. NXT viewership this week, way up. Big numbers for them, 827,000. Up 2% from the week after. And the best audience since October. And did you catch any of NXT as they continue to set up for Judgment Day?
Genuinely,
sorry.
Yeah, Ben, just genuinely... As I said this year, I've been watching most promotions. I've been following TNA, AEW, been watching a bit more. NXT's the promotion I've left behind, Ben. I haven't watched a minute this year. To be fair, I'll just read the results. So I'm not one of those 827,000 viewers, unfortunately, but don't know. Femi as well is on top, but the minute he got pinned, Ben, they should never have had him ever get beat. I was gutted, but obviously he had to lose in their mind so he could lose that belt to get the world title, but... Yeah.
Bailey on the show next week, teaming with Julia against Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Not going to get you back. Come on, NXT.
It's a big tag match, but I think Bailey, once again, we all love Bailey, don't we? But the way she has been used when she was champion, that's all I want to say about Triple H's negatives. He loves the chase and they're all good. LA Knight, Cody, Bailey, I'll throw in there. And when they've hit the spot as champion, I haven't found it half as interesting as the chase, which, people might say is an old history lesson in wrestling. That's always been the case, but I find Bailey these days, she always there as the best use was to the week against Tiffany Stratton.
The tag was this week, right?
Yeah, that was actually a good thing to use it, give Tiffany a big win, and it meant something. But yeah, she's just doing the rounds now, isn't she, Pam, in that role? So yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
Andy Ogden saying, the NXT, the women's division is good. The men aren't the worst. Thorpe, Oba, Trick, all rough at the minute.
Yeah.
Andy, there you go. Our NXT correspondent. Appreciate it, mate. But got a nice and finally stories. We move on from WWE, thankfully. WWE 2K 25, 15. That was a long time ago. Covers are announced, Matty. What the fuck is this? We've got a Roman. We got an Undertaker, and if you think it couldn't get worse, we have a
could get worse. Could get better. Come on, Ben. This is like...
kayfabe, mate. Roman's tweeting this out saying how great it is. I mean, all of his enemies are right, are they not?
I haven't got... It's all family at the end of the day, Ben, as the big man always says. Everything he brings along with him is his family, and I haven't got a PS5, mate, but it's tempting me to get...
I've got a 4 knocking around. Do you need a 5 for this?
No, I've got a 4. You'll need a 5 to get the full experience of this one, Benno, but I've already read about the DLC packs and all the bonuses you get with this. Someone will have to fill me in because I'm not a gamer these days, but it's a lot you get with this one, mate. Jacob Fatu, your man Tangaloa, Benno, on a WWE video game, mate. It's good times, Benno. Good times.
I suppose. Are the games any good right now? I don't even know.
I think the last one it was, once again, it might be not the biggest praise, but it's better than the years gone by. Last year's, wasn't it? But yeah, I haven't played for a few years now, but that cover's amazing. I'll just get the print off, put it on my wall.
I was gonna say, literally what I was gonna say. I can picture that behind you in a nice black frame. It would fit. There you go. Well, that's the end of the WWE news. And some non-WWE news. Jonathan Gresham's TNA contract apparently expired this month. Obviously, coming around the time as we talked on Spotlight about Jordan Grace's jump to WWE. She's denying it. She's going to be in the fucking Women's Rumble, isn't she? I can't imagine Jonathan Gresham in the Men's Rumble. He probably won't be able to get into
NXT.
the ring. But yeah,
he screams NXT.
Probably about his height, isn't he?
He'll get it. He'll get a contract, but it'll be NXT for sure. He's definitely going to follow her. Definitely.
Do you think NXT? Can you see that fitting at all? If the only way he gets in is like remember when Regal do those vanity hires, like you bring in Tim Thatcher, despite the fact Tim Thatcher was never going to get over in Vince's WWE. Like it was just because Regal likes the way he wrestles. That's the only way I see Gresham getting in. Yeah, I don't see it in NXT. I don't know. I think he'll be maybe international deal, New Japan or something like that.
But I say he's a wrestler I haven't thought about in I don't know how many years though, Ben, at the
You
same
still love
time.
him?
So yeah, he was okay, Ben.
Against type.
Yeah, he was all right, to be fair. But I say, out of sight, out of mind.
Short-term deal somewhere. I'm with you, Andy. I think
Yeah.
Andy's right. Could fit in. I mean, a lot. To be fair, anyone could fit into NXT the way it is. Like he'd walk in and be the best wrestler in the company. But I don't know, just something about it. And say, Platt, bring back the Hornswoggle gimmick. I'll stop. We'll see. But there we go. That's your update on Jonathan Gresham. Daisuke's second moto has been added to the WXW 16 Karat Gold tournament field. Where if JP was here, we'd once again remind you of the story of when JP bought him a pint at I think it was a tag league weekend, not a carrot weekend. Cracking bloke, had a great game of bowling against him. Monster of a man, but yeah, cool to see him back in Germany. If I didn't have other travel plans, that might have been a name that could talk me round. Outside of him, Leon Slater, Anita Vaughan, Karen Noir, Axel Tischer, Lawrence Roman, Agel Blanc, Masha Slamovich is in the list. Didn't realise. Adam Priest, Michael Oku, Joseph Finette Jr., Ahura, Psycho Clown, One Call Manders, and Dragon Kid. I missed the Psycho Clown announcement. Cool little run of people, Dragon Kid as well. Ray, you get to see such international talent. Shame we never got you to the WXW weekend, mate.
I know, me indie days are over, Ben, but I would have loved to have went for the weekender back in the day. They did sound good stuff when, I say...
Well, now I might have a dealer's choice idea. I'll add that to your list, number 7.
Okay, fair enough.
Last non-WWE/AEW story, Buff Bagwell's in jail. Would you be shocked if I told you he wasn't in jail? It's a bit like Sonny, innit? You just assume he's in jail, probably. Over the 2020 arrest, apparently. Something to do with a jail sanction thing. A DUI, apparently, was the initial offence. But
how long's he got?
That's our Buff. I don't think the report says. Confidentiality rules, apparently. We don't know.
Okay.
But yeah. Back to DDP's house with you, I think.
He was trying to do it. He was trying to give YouTube a go, wasn't he, as well. His channel popped up in my algorithm, but I never did give it a watch. Unfortunately,
when he was trying to do that thing where he was pretending to be woke on Twitter, and it was very clear that he wasn't writing any of those tweets. It was a weird time.
Just leave the memories along with Buff Bagwell. Give me in 98, 99, 2000, and then I'm done with him.
Yeah, I'll do. On that note, move on to a couple of AEW news and notes before we get into Dynamite. The Cursed Show, AEW Grand Slam, we think has a place on the schedule now. It's going to be following the NBA All Star Weekend. Is it Super Bowl this weekend? Isn't it? Sunday night. Explains Garrett's busyness this weekend. I think it is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's probably going, isn't he, Ben? He's probably flying out, isn't he?
Is it in Portugal? He'll be there, won't he? But yes, apparently it's slotted for the 10:30 p.m. ET start time on TNT after TNT's presentation of the NBA All-Star Weekend game. The broadcast starts at about 8. I like the footy. It finishes when it fucking finishes. So it might be half 10, it might be later. It's a fucking confusing thing because now they're putting out all these posters with like February 15th on it, which is that technically the right date now that it's...
That's a Saturday.
No, it's here on the Saturday. Oh, they've looked out there, I suppose, because it's still technically Saturday in Australia when they do the show the night before. Clocks, the world, it's fucking confusing, isn't it? But yeah, I was talking to an Aussie fan about this the other day, a couple of Aussie fans actually this week about this show, and it's just been obviously an own goal. And it's one of them where it's like... I'm a bit regretful of maybe the tone of the conversation we had on Spotlight, because we haven't had WrestleTix numbers on this or like any official numbers, but the estimates are like 10,000 people still. AEW are not going to have another show this year. They'll say that they'll have some pay-per-views that'll be around that number, but it's going to be rare this year that they hit numbers that high, especially for what is ostensibly now a TV show, ostensibly in the Collision time slot. 10,000 people in a hot market where like people are going to be excited to see them, and like 10,000 people in the market as well, where it was stupid they were ever running the stadium. Ask any Aussie, they would have told you they've only got fucking Triller out there, so like it's just not on telly. Where are you gonna get all these casual AEW fans from? But the positive of that is you've got 10,000 hardcore AEW fans who are going to be in an arena fucking loving this, and they're literally flying out there doing the show, turning the plane back and coming home, and then putting it on telly. Like it'll be on telly when they all land back in America. Like it's like it would just feel like there was a path of lesser resistance than this. Something has clearly gone wrong in the prep for it.
And as you say, Ben, even dare I say more than some pay-per-view, as you say, this building's should be well up for it as well. Never ever been there and probably won't go back. Like you milk this for all you can, don't you? You genuinely do, and that's where like you guys have been saying more than I have for years that they just can't market nothing. They just can't like take advantage of nothing, Benno. Like they probably just see it because they've had to step down from the stadium. That this is a negative thing now. We'll just get it over with, come home. No, you should be the other way. Turn a negative into a fucking positive. But yeah, fair play.
Something's clearly happened with Max, or they thought they had something, or maybe I think it was behind their paywall, but I know Voices of Wrestling were talking a little bit about it, like to TNT to actually know that AEW were advertising the show for that night. I think they know now. But something's clearly gone wrong, hasn't it, in the communication and you get the slot first, then you book the show, then and then when you book the show, you have a bit of local knowledge to know that we should do an arena and not a stadium, and you should probably figure all of these things out. But it's still going to look great on TV, and it looks like it's going to be a great card. As we're going to get into, it hasn't stopped them from putting big feeling stuff on the card. Just when are we all going to see it? Like, even if it was on at Daft O'Clock, we'd all watch it on Triller, wouldn't we, if it was live? So that's even just doing that, or just doing it on Max, does feel like a missed opportunity. But on that note, apparently AEW reviews are going to be available to purchase on Amazon Prime Video coming up as well. This coming courtesy of WrestleNomics, this in the US, UK, and Canada. So Gareth, if you're next time you're buying a show, mate, Amazon, and share the login with us, thank you, appreciate it. That'll be great. But there you go. More options to buy the pay-per-views, never a bad thing. Apparently Hogan says the Pro Bowl is this weekend, and it's the Super Bowl the weekend after. So I need to make sure I pick a good dealer's choice then, to make sure we get Gareth on next Sunday. Or make sure we're done before 11:30. I think that's probably more.
We try and record earlier now, don't we, on a Sunday, giving too much stuff away.
Yeah, with the live Sunday shows, maybe expect a bit earlier, folks, coming up for those pre-shows as well.
Especially next week.
They'll live. Definitely. Gareth will demand it. It's in his contract somewhere. There we go. In the Hogan contract he's got. But on that note, should talk some Dynamite. Dare I ask, you seen any of it?
I actually have. I haven't seen any of the bouts, as you're probably aware, but I've seen the promos, seen a few angles. I've actually seen a couple of bouts. I've seen 2 bouts actually, but what are we doing in one?
Name 3 things you didn't like.
Once again, Ben,
I'm joking. Please don't.
I want you to first, because I'm still getting involved with AEW. I'm not as involved as yourself, but I'm
true?
Stopping.
You're on the weekend show a lot. You watch a lot of these Dynamites, mate. You watch as many of them as you watch.
I don't put myself down a bit, but Ben, it's like, where do we? I don't know if anyone said it fully, but I know Jeff's like ironic and that. But what are we doing with Jeff Jarrett, Ben? Like, honestly, if you would have said this like 2 years ago, even, like, you would have got laughed at. You would have got honestly laughed at what.
No, I'd have been up for it. I'd have been wrong, but I'd have been up for it.
But you know what I'm saying, don't you? And I see, and it's not just like Claudio, who's getting built as this whatever underneath Moxley, his student, whatever it is a part of his cult fucking leadership, etc. You still need help to beat Jeff Jarrett. You know what I mean? He's like 60. You know what I mean? But it's stuff like that.
Depends what story they were trying to tell there. Exactly. I wasn't sure whether he needed the help, or it was more a case of we're just going to kill Jeff. I don't know. It was someone at the team.
Does Jeff Jarrett need protecting at this point? Because of it, he says it himself. He doesn't need it, does he? You know.
I don't know if they were protecting him though. I think they were more trying to tell a story of the Death Riders being mean to Jeff. Not that it's a good story I want to see. I'm just saying, Death Riders did kill the show. I agree with Andy. Like, I don't necessarily want to start on a negative, because obviously better show than Raw still, but this week
that's strong.
It is. Like, it is week to week. Raw Dynamite is still better than Raw. Mostly, there are weeks where it pushes me. This week's one of those weeks though. Yeah, you name like that. Nothing as good as that Punk Cody segment on the show, and just generally an overall drab feeling on the show this week. Didn't feel like even the Ospreay stuff could save it this week, whereas last week it really was, as we talked about, a show of 2 halves, Ospreay Omega stuff. Did you see any of that with the fucking Tango and Cash in the air and the climbing off? Fucking brilliant, like peak Dynamite. Loved it. Daft, campy, but worked in a good way. And obviously, like we talked at length about, 3rd show in a row, Hurt Syndicate. How fucking brilliant was it? Them just smashing through them 2 scrubs and being tag champs. It had all that positive last week. And then the second half of it had all the negative. This week it just didn't have enough of that positive, because I felt like Ospreay and Brian Cage was fine. Went a little bit long. Was an attempt at a weight rate match. Brian Cage is always the one that sticks out when people talk about Generico and Steen, and we should do PWG next time, watch more PWG. I just picture Brian Cage when I picture PWG for some reason. Like, you know, that wrestler who goes out. There's just something technically he's supposedly good. Like, he does the moves. I'm supposed to be excited by him. Oh, isn't he strong? Type stuff. But I've never found him interesting. It's just matches for matches' sake. And that's kind of what Ospreay went out there and did with him. It was kind of a match for match sake. He fought from underneath. Probably got 5 minutes too long because it was a Ospreay match on a Dynamite. So I understand the want to want to do that. But yeah, it wasn't better or worse than I expected. It was just about what I expected as a match, and that was kind of your advert for in-ring on Dynamite this week, unless you count the main event. And it wasn't good enough to make up for the bad on the show. It wasn't good enough, to be honest, to make. And I was talking about this the last couple of weeks. The storytelling they're doing with the Callis family, it is very like old Monday Night Raw. It is very like EWR game. Like, we're just doing heat for the sake of heat. No one's actually thinking about why we're doing the heat. We're just doing the heat. You know, oh, the Don Callis family are laying out Omega and Ospreay. Oh, can't you wait for them to get their revenge? It's like, no, mate, I can't wait for the 4 great fucking wrestlers to get in and having a great fucking match in Australia. I just want to see that. I don't really care about, like, oh, are they going to get their revenge? And this endless parade of heat, like doing the stuff with Kenny getting laid out backstage and being forced to act, and then Kenny coming out at the end for the save, and then the 2 lads getting laid out by the 4, and it's like, it's just piecemeal booking, isn't it? Because we've got a pay-per-view coming up, so we need to do Omega versus Cage, and then Ospreay versus Cage, and then they can both wrestle Lance Archer, and then they can beat them in a tag team, and then, like, it's Streets of Rage, they can beat them, and then move on to the bosses on the next level, which will be Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. And we're doing it because we've always done it, and that's how wrestling's done, and that supposedly creates stakes.
You've nailed it.
The stakes aren't there, are they? The stakes are the four of the best wrestlers in the world are going to have a boss match in Australia, and this is all just fucking distraction until the end. That it felt like that. It felt, to use a word of me earlier, inconsequential is what it felt like.
But this is, Ben, and that's where, like, you broke it down more than I ever could there, and that was, you nailed it right on the head. Because even I was watching it going, so is Kenny, if he's clear, is he going to fight Archer next week, or is Ospreay going to fight him, and then they're going to have the tag match week before, then we're going to have that. We book it ourselves, and not in a good way, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not just turning
like
back to WWE, go and say it, which it are.
Like
but
SmackDown?
It's like, yeah, but it, no, wait there, wait. But at least with the WWE, there's layers to it, and they're all intertwining. But with this, because it's Kenny Omega with Ospreay, it's like, on face value, it's like, oh yeah, it's them, it's their story there. But you just don't feel like it when you're watching it. As you say, you just want to get to that match because it's going to be. And even I, honestly, when that graphic come up, I turned to Steph, who was sitting by me, and I was like, you know what? That's going to be fucking great. I couldn't help myself looking at it. I was like, you know what? For all
molten crowd,
that
fresh crowd.
A proper one, like that is going to be so good, like genuinely. So
Meltzer 5 minimum, innit? For the rest of us, somewhere in the 4s.
That's 6 stars, easy.
Gotta be fucking brilliant, innit? Want to be excited about it. I don't know, but I don't know how you answer that question. It's like, you know, I know I had a sly dig at PWG there, but I know I'm the retro ROH guy, and I love the company that did wrestling for wrestling's sake. I would argue they did a better job of making those matches feel important a lot of the time. And like, it's a hard thing to book in it for the modern fan if we're not buying into heat and Don Callis and they got to get their revenge, and all we want to see is a good match. How'd you do that? Like, you build it like a prize fight. Maybe that's an egg to crack for somebody, you know. It's maybe a more New Japan pure sports build, whatever that looks like, would be better for this story. But yeah, that was the positive last week, and I don't think it really made up for the negatives this week, even if I'm excited for the match. And the negatives were absolutely that. It was everything Death Riders. I've just got on my notes Death Riders guff, because that was what Jeff and Claudio was. Because I agree, like I probably would have been stupid and gone, yeah, go on, give it a try with Jeff. He's got the sympathy. It's too much. Like, he's been on the shows too much, and he just, it's too much is the word for it. I can't think of a better way to put it. Like, he's Jeff Jarrett at this point in his career. Like, yeah, this was a 1 week story you tell on Collision. Like, out of nowhere, you know what you don't be better. Just out of nowhere, he got a title shot. Moxley fucking steps on his toes backstage or something like that, and they go, you know what, in the main event, Jeff, you're getting a match, and they happen to be in fucking Nashville or something, and they just do the match and it's one and done. That would be fine. This week, this long build to, I guess, MJF instead, which is the side swipe we're going with Jeff, is not good use of real estate. It's not good use of TV time.
But that can't drag out to Revolution, MJF and Jeff Jarrett. Surely that's got to be Australia. Like, that cannot be fucking Revolution.
It doesn't even feel like a pay-per-view match, to be honest, at this point.
But this is what I'm saying. But the way they're doing it, Ben, it's making you feel like it's going to be. You know what I mean? But maybe with MJF bumping into Hangman, that might be the revolution. As you said, this could be a Dynamite TV main event, Jarrett and MJF. But as you say, you nailed it again, Ben. Sick of saying this now. Hate myself saying that. But it's like, it is. You're right. It's him having the 10 minutes with MJF. He's just on telly too much. And I know it started with an emotional with the Owen Hart stuff, which was real, which was genuine emotion. But then they've gone on about it too late. For me, they haven't capitalised on that. They've waited for that, and then they've gone back to it where the sympathy's not as much there, and he's had a go, but it just hasn't worked. It just hasn't.
I can understand the want to look at that segment and go, oh, there's money there, let's do something with Jeff, let's do an old dog before he retires story. It just hasn't played out, and it's not working great. Just on to quickly Hogan's point, I know PWG had stories, but with the exception or with the rule. That's all I'm saying. I'm not having to go PWG.
Oh, Ben,
anyway, moving on.
No, you're going old school here, though, Ben.
You can name them in one hand. Young Bucks, Adam Cole, Kevin Owens, Super Drag. You can name them on one hand. Be honest with yourselves. You know why you watch PWG. It was mindless popcorn, fantastic wrestling matches. That's fine. That's all right.
Is that AEW, though?
Yeah,
that's what AEW
fine, you know. And the stories, really, were these stories, or they were one angle. Anyway, sorry. Someone's gonna force me to watch PWG.
Ben,
now. It's my
someone's fucking
maybe you. You could be the
Might
PWG
be me
defender.
Now. I'm a late PWG guy though, and I need to go old school like the chat is.
I really don't hate PWG. I just think it's a good example of that type of company. Tell me what I'm telling lies. And you can probably say it of ROH at certain points. Absolutely. I'll eat that girl. And the other bad stuff, the other Death Rider stuff was also bad. Jay White and Wheeler Yuta. I reckon on the slide, Gareth will like that match, you know. I think he'll enjoy that.
That's why you like it.
He might be the last lone defender if he is still a defender of Wheeler Yuta. Good limb work, good selling from Jay. Just didn't have the goodwill, I think, to go as long as they did in the slot that they did when everything around it is just so dull. And that's the thing. That's the biggest insult to me of the Death Riders is like, it's one thing when it's Moxley. When it's Claudio, coming out from the fucking Aces and Eights hut and you're having to watch him do that, that's annoying. But when it's Wheeler fucking Yuta walking out like fuck with his bird chest, like taking twice as long as anyone else's entrance because we've got to get the big entrance when he comes through the crowd and he's got to pretend to be a hard man, which I guess is part of the character, but he is mostly just miscast. It's just not working, is it? It's not working. Like, there was a conversation on the Discord today about Daniel Garcia and, whether Daniel Garcia is a lost cause or not. I'd say Daniel Garcia is. I'm still glass half full on Daniel Garcia, although I would submit that Tony Khan has been booking him now for almost 5 years, and how much ahead are we than we were 5 years ago? I don't know. Wheeler Yuta, like, why are you still trying, lads? He's not over. He's not.
He should just never talk either, Benno. Like, he should just be a mute in the gang that, like, is... once again, I'm not up on me Death Riders law, but he was half there against his will at the start with just that he just don't let him speak, because when he speaks, it's embarrassing. Like, and not everyone's like, Steve or Mick Foley on the mic or whoever in the prime, but he just should never talk. You know what I mean? He should just never do it. And Moxley shouldn't talk at this point. I don't want to go in on Moxley. I was into his early Death Rider stuff, but he's just rambling for the sake of it now. Like, Jesus Christ, when I've watched him,
I think it's work shoot, isn't it? He's trying to say, like, have some patience.
Let
us tell our stories.
Yeah.
While his wife stood there, which is just weird, isn't it? Like, the dynamic of that's bad, innit? It doesn't work. Yeah, it's a lot of TV time for Ben.
He's got to do the carrying there, because obviously Claudio's not the best. Really, you shouldn't talk. Pac, to be fair, he's got that character where he talks now and again, and when he does, I still think that's half comedy with Pac. I don't know whether it's meant to be. I don't know.
It's not just the Aces and Eights Clubhouse where it reminds me of TNA. It's the like TNA every now and then I just have a new stable, and I went to you hear at the Manchester taper when the Beatdown Clan were a thing, and like. You go to one of those tapings, name your stable, to be honest, but when you go and there's like 4 impacts being taped, and the 4 impacts, literally I think I heard the Beatdown Clan song 400 times, because it was the big thing right now, and it's got to be all over the show, and then you just know 3 months later, half of the people in the won't be in the company anymore, and it won't matter. That's what this feels like now, like where it's overriding everything on the show. For what? At some point, it's got to end. But it's like Blackpool Combat. I say that it's like Blackpool Combat Club, isn't it? Like, that never ended, just morphed into this. Will it ever actually end? Like, will Tony Khan ever see sense?
But was it like, we all, when this first started, we were all like, 90% of us were all like, well, Darby Allin's the guy that's gonna end this Death Rider stuff. He's off climbing the mountain, isn't he? Then it's Eddie Kingston when he comes back. We don't know how far he's away. So is there an end? This like, we've got. Me, I'm an Edge guy. I mean,
don't ruin Eddie Kingston with him.
Him and Cope though, Ben, at the pay-per-view. I mean, come on, like, I mean, no one's liking that, are they? So you're getting this at the top of the card for the world title. You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Andy says there, you got wrestlers and promos saying the product's shit and we're here to fix it. It's like Tony Schiavone agreeing with it as well. That was a note I had. Jesus. Morbid but serious question: what if Tony's sticking with the Derby plan, but he legit dies doing Everest? Fuck. Orange Cassidy? I don't know. Hopefully,
I think that ship sailed. But Kingston's the one. Like he is. That would make sense in this whole thing for me. That's the only saving thing for me is if Kingston comes back, you'll get better promos. You'll fire Mox up. You'll be more interested, and you'll have a good match as well because Kingston's in there with the emotion and the story. So he needs to come back. I don't know how far he is away. The big man. So. Hope he's not too far.
The words, JP, kill Jester, move it to Ospreay, move it to Omega.
But it's not going to happen. Can't do this no more. He's dedicated this Benno. Moxie's got something over him at the minute like these top stars do.
All he's got over him is that, I think Steph Van Golma, she said it a few times now, if he takes this away from Moxley goes home and doesn't come back. That's what you feel. Baby.
It's his reinvention of himself, isn't it?
Feels like that's what the relationship is now, and based on things we heard last summer. Probably rings true as well. Other stuff from
you know that, I don't think he would do, but there's that just Shield lore, isn't he? And that big contract
is that though?
Dangling. No, he won't go back.
Ever,
that's what I'm saying. No, they won't go back to them being a team. But it'll come in you left and all that. You can see it. You can see it. Wait to replace those things. You can see.
Oh, fill 15 minutes on a SmackDown, wouldn't it? We'll see. I'm glad that I've sold a couple of King of the Mountains in the chat pile. I don't mean to make the PWG fans fume.
You hate it. He tells me off air all the time.
I didn't love it as much. I just didn't love it as much. That's all I'll say. It was no Shikara. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of which, Ricochet versus AR Fox was on the show. That was a pretty good match, and Ricochet, I think, is one of them where I don't because we say one thing on one show doesn't mean we have to stick to it. So like forever, I think we were wrong about Ricochet. I think the character work is working. AR Fox is a body. AR Fox I felt bad for trying to come out and thinking he'd get a reaction. Not happening. Not have been just not at a. He's a character for the sickos, I suppose, in the AEW verse. But it made sense with the history. And did you see the angle they did at the end of the match where Swerve was going to come off with the double stomp? And Ricochet put AR Fox in front of him like he was hiding from like a man with a gun who was going to shoot him, which was fine for Ricochet's character and fine for Swerve's. But I feel like AR Fox overplayed it because AR Fox was like, no, don't shoot. Like, you're going to get me if you shoot. I mean, it's a double stomp, mate. You've took worse. You know, it's the end of the world, but I get it. You're going to tell the story.
Through glass panes and everything, Annie. You know what I mean? So
I would have dialed that down a little bit. But yeah, the Swerve stuff continues to be well protected and good, and him and Ricochet's an absolutely fine distraction match for them to have for now. Absolutely no issues with that. And Mercedes Yuki was fine as a match. Again, I think that'll die a death as a quarter hour. I think just because I think the vast majority of the AEW audience, like AR Fox, will be not fully on board with who Yuka is, and then the match it just didn't excel.
You saying Mercedes isn't the draw here? Because she's fucking not. Exactly.
Never said she was.
You know, I'm just saying the way you.
She's on some level. She will be when she comes to the UK. At that level, she will be a draw. I think she'll sell some copper box tickets and such if they run that. But yeah, broadly speaking, depends who you're in with there too as well, but I just don't see that there being much juice behind this, and it just wasn't. It was good, it was fine, it just wasn't exceptional enough to book that trend. You know what I mean? Where it was like it felt a little bit cold as a match, and then if they went out and had like something near 5-star match, I think that would have been the only answer to a problem they created of their own. I think it'll be a death. Final quarter, and it was kind of just a death ending. Mercedes wins lol, and it was the end of the show, and it was like, oh, nothing else consequential is happening on this. Then I guess we're moving on.
Who's she meant to be feuding with? I mean, and I've watched a bit of it. Who they setting up for Mercedes going into like Australia or Revolution? Like it's
exactly as good as mine. Yeah. She's not in the Tony Storm verse, is she? So no. There's a couple of people they could heat up for it, but it always feels like that with her. It's like challenger of the week. Let's heat up Stat. Let's heat
she's
up whoever.
She's the belt collector, isn't it? Gimmick she's doing. So
it's Harley for Australia. Platt does say so. Yeah, they've been doing like little character bits backstage with her of trying to
the guitar
get a card. Yeah, and trying to get Mercedes to go along with it. It's a very comedic build to a match, but it's not a big time program for the future, obviously, but one off Australia. You're going to go to Australia? Yeah. Well, that's a WWE should do that more. All the Australians should be on the card. Like clearly they should, and they do that more now. So that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's Dynamite. They did move things around apparently because apparently Powerhouse Hobbs does have a legitimate injury, specifically affecting a Collision coming up, which is a shame, as Hobbs was getting a little bit of a heat behind them. But on that note, yeah, Collision's got a. Doesn't get better. John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler to pay off what happened on Dynamite in a Mid-South street fight. Yeah. Daniel Garcia versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Lee Moriarty in a 3-way for the TNT title.
Screams Gareth, that, doesn't it, Ben?
And that's fine for a Collision match. That's all right. Yeah. That's all right. You know, that's why Garcia's still got his head above water, just about. Tony Storm is going to be cutting a promo. Samoa Joe and Hook. I'm sure you're glad to see Samoa Joe back against Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. Nick Wayne's in that group of people who, I'm not sure AEW signing them has done much good for their career. Might have been better out on the Indies or in ROH. Chris Jericho and Brian Keith, another one of them, versus. First time I read this, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, which they actually, to be fair, they did set up with that promo on Dynamite. Good lord.
I mean, it says it all when the FTR versus Mox and Wheeler Yuta is the match I want to see the most there, and that's the one I've seen online getting pelters because it's happening. But everything else, Ben, doesn't stand out to me at all.
All I'm going to say about AEW right now, Matty, is if you just took away the Jeff Riders, which I know is 60% of the show, 40% of the show.
Trios champions, world champion, all the championships.
If you just took that away, it's actually not very, it's good, a lot of good stuff. Like last couple of weeks, I've enjoyed them. Gareth was saying, wasn't he, when he was last on Spotlight, he's been enjoying AEW the last while. It's just that half of it. It's hard to look past it, isn't it? It's hard to not be negative when that's the other side of it. But there you go. I asked you to name 3 negatives. You couldn't. Name 3 positives about AEW. Go on, Matty, before we move on.
Positives. Well, I like that tag match of in Australia. That's a big positive, like we said. Like that's going to be unbelievable for sure. But then you look when I seen that.
Syndicate. There's a freebie for you, mate.
Oh yeah,
they hate people.
I don't need to mention them. I said it all before they were coming in the company that I got put down on, so I don't need to mention the lads anymore because Lashley was always going to be a good fit.
Who put you down on?
No, I don't know. You might know him. You might look at him every day in a minute. But anyway, we'll move on.
No, I didn't.
No, I know you. I
wasn't into Shelton. But I didn't put you down on it. I thought Lashley...
Lashley, we'll go back and review the tapes because I love this now because we can. But anyway, come on, we'll move on. Lashley and that, I don't need to say nothing great stuff. But it is better, I don't know, outside of like Omega and that. Like Swerve, Ricochet.
Swerve, there's another positive.
You're saying that.
Hangman and MJF are building something. We didn't mention that with Dynamite. That's more interesting than Jeff and MJF.
I don't know. I'm not. This is why, and this is like you're saying. You're ever go PWG sacrilege. Because I'm not involved with AEW. I haven't got that emotional feeling. Like AEW fucking day oneers have got.
Because you got bad taste, you don't like Hangman Page. No, we can move on. I know.
I just don't get it. Like and once again, I accept that because I'm not involved week to week. I can get that. The way he's the best.
I mean, you are.
Like he's the best character in the whole of wrestling, and that he's saying. I'm like, what? What have I missed? Then show me what I've missed, and I'll watch it if he's the best character in wrestling. Fucking hell.
It's not hard to explain, isn't it? He's just a likable kind of underdog millennial.
Is he a face this week? Is he a heel? Or is that
that's not been great. Yeah, I agree.
Is that part of the lore? Is that part of the
problem?
It's a load in the ass. Let's move on.
It's not a load in the ass. He was AEW's great babyface, and he was AEW's great story, and yeah, they have.
But I feel like that was a bit nuanced at the minute. Sorry, one it was, but then.
Sorry, this has gone from your name. Just trying to get you to name a third positive. Sorry, no, I'm not moving on. So you give me a third. Give me a third positive.
Kenny Omega. That match, them 4 in that match is probably I'll give you 4 positives. I like them. They're 4 great wrestlers.
Hey, the Guns are coming back. That's a positive.
Jay White, I love Jay White as well. Yeah, the Guns should be back. And MJF, Ben, I'll always be a fan. I don't know why.
No, that's amazing.
But I even think he's like just when he's delivering these promos, does he have the same fire that he had? I don't know, a year ago. It just seems like he's a bit like on cruise control at the minute as well, doesn't it? Rehashing the old shite.
Well, anyway, that's Collision. I won't go through ROH in detail for you. JP's your man for that. Commander v Lee Johnson in a Proving Ground match. That screams a bit Garrett too, maybe.
No, can I read this match out for you, Ben, please? Sorry, can I read these matches?
I'll give you one.
What you're looking forward to is Brandon Cutler going one-on-one with Serpentico.
All right, shut the whole company down. We're done. We're over. Ripping the belt down. The belt's going. I'm going to sell that on eBay when I move. It's gone, unless you want it, Matt. No, you're not having it. You don't deserve it. No one deserves it. Brandon Cutler versus Sid Pentagon. I missed that. Fucking hell. Evil Uno versus Blake Christian sounds like a 5-star PWG match compared to that, doesn't it? Hey lads. Sammy Guevara and Solo. I feel like that was the one that got around way back in the day. Anyway, TNA is also happening. Nick Nemeth cutting a promo. East Austin Wesley on the show. Josh Alexander out. Young versus Judas Sickers. Mustafa Ali said he's the face of the company now. That's a shame.
No, you know what, Ben? Once again, I've given TNA a go. Say, put this in Discord. Got the app, Ben. Got the TNA Plus app. Given the TV a go. I'm filling all the history, Ben. I mean, there's 20 years of whether you want to say.
I should check if I've still got it for free. Remember, I had it for free for about 5 years because no one knew what they were doing at TNA.
Pay me $9.99 to fill this to fill these gaps.
I'll check for you, mate. I'll see if I've got the free account still.
But Ace Austin Wesley's a match I'll watch 100%. Be watching. I'll be watching the show, but that's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, Mustafa Ali, I'm going to give it a go. I mentioned it when he come back and interrupted the Mike Santana little interview he's doing. That's not a bad match, Ben.
I want TNA to be good because I love Mike Santana and I want him to do well. I just don't agree it is. But we'll see. We'll see.
There'll be our new battles, Ben, in 25. There'll be our new battles.
I mean, you'd have to watch Impact for us to have the battle. But anyway, SmackDown. Sorry.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No, I'm not sorry either. SmackDown, Chelsea Green versus Meechin on the show. Naomi versus Liv Morgan. Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. And the Motor City Machine Guns of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And Los Garza, Angel Anaberto versus Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and Pretty Deadly.
Go on, what? What?
Says it all, doesn't it?
What,
Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes.
Inconsequential matches, one for the championship.
Boring.
What?
Boring.
Jimmy Uso, Carmelo, the other week was a good match. It wasn't. It was ruined by the DQ finish. It was actually a good match. Big Jim, we're there every week.
Sounds like a negative, a DQ finish to me.
No, but the match was so good, Ben, that it was honestly it was a great, honestly loved it. And Big Jim every Saturday, Sunday, people know the end of Discord. Let's continue this going because he's once again, Ben, getting a little bit more TV time in these 3 hours, and then we'll see how it goes. But hopefully they can live up to the expectations.
There's the answer now.
Of the first match that they had the other week. And hopefully we get a clean finish this time to make it even better. But yeah, 8-man tag.
How could it get better?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
You'd have to have Ace Austin versus Wesley on there, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
That sounds good, actually. Sounds a good match. I enjoy that.
It is. It's going to be a good match. But yeah, the 8-man tag, Ben, once again, if we're being honest, that's kind of just ticking boxes before we get to the tag team title match of the
These
Royal
SmackDowns
Rumble.
before the pay-per-views really don't matter, do they? What happened to Cena, by the way? Why is Cena not been on telly?
No, and you know what? They did used to make them matter because you used to have like a title match they keep off the pay-per-view, didn't they, on a SmackDown where you'd get maybe a tag title change or something like that. He's gone away from that.
It's almost like they just...
Unless the women's US is going to be that, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
It's like the Sunday Night Heat, you know what I mean? Like right before the pay-per-view, no one's going to see that. Like everyone, it does the same number as ever. Like why would you not use it to sell your pay-per-view harder? We'll get
the aftermath of Jacob Fatu's destruction, Ben. We'll get Big Jim on there. We'll get LA Knight. We'll get all the regulars there. So it'll be decent.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Show. We'll be all right. We'll be sad. Don't worry.
Will we? Okay. Well, on that note, that takes us to the big one, as it is. In fact, Royal Rumble weekend. And all jokes aside, you know what? I'm looking forward to the Rumble, mate. I haven't told you this. I'm going to Belfast. Ended up just because the way our recording schedule's kind of landed now. It's meant to have got a bit of a free weekend. So I looked £60 return. Thought me and Steph can watch it together. Get some takeaways in. Get a stack in. What's the plan for you, mate? Food, drink wise. I'm quite excited for the weekend.
Well, I'll give me full plans of what we're doing at the end, I'm sure of what we're doing. But it was strictly scranning him. Well, you're ditching me and you're going to Belfast now, Ben, so I couldn't get the invite in there, could I? But if we're talking just scran and drink, got a crate of Coke Zero there, ready to go as always, and I'm going to pick and choose me. I'm going around to Ben's, our local... Sorry?
What's the delivery, though, food-wise?
Oh, I don't know, because I might have to eat in the afternoon because I've got other plans before the Rumble, so I don't know, I'll probably be
I can come to that.
Yeah, probably be more. It's in Crosby as well, going to it at the end, what I'm doing, but...
what are you and Gareth up to?
I'll probably get more snacks, to be fair, like, no one craving at the minute, them scampi fries, so I might get some of them, the bacon fries and the scampi fries, the old pub snacks.
No, I've been waiting to tell you, mate, I've been waiting for this entire time. I have left in Steph because I didn't think I would be going to Belfast this weekend, and I made up the still there in the fridge. Their local spa had on offer. Yeah. Bearing in mind, it was 4 for 50p.
Okay.
Before I even tell you what it is, Matty, 4 for 50p. Chocolate bar is all I'm saying. Like, that's a good deal.
Wow.
That's a good deal. Name brand chocolate bar.
Okay.
Right. They are dimes. 4 dimes for 50p. Like, you like, you know what? No, they were 50p and they were marked down to 25. So even better, 25p for 4 full-size dimes. And you might ask yourself, Matthew, what is the catch with these dime bars?
Go on.
They're strawberry flavoured.
They'll be all right, they're strawberry.
But don't let go. I thought you'd be giving me pelters.
No.
But hold your fire, folks. They're fucking brilliant. And when I was there at Christmas, every time we went to Spa and there was still some there, I'd buy another packet. I'm pretty sure I was the only person buying the packets, the fact that they were marked down to 25 pence. And I asked Steph before I booked my flight, there are in fact, I believe, 3 chocolate, you can let us know in the chat, 3 chocolate strawberry dime bars in the fridge, and they are going to be my snack that night. Can't wait.
That's unbelievable, mate. I love banana like toffee anyway, so anything flavoury like that on like a hard crunchy.
They get more grief. It tastes a little bit chemical.
Okay.
But there's something
maybe that's why there's
about
25p then.
They taste a bit like strawberry ice cream, like that taste of strawberry with, I guess, something else, or Neapolitan ice cream. Steph thinks they're gross. The whole family thinks they're gross. They all make fun of me for getting them, but I'm excited. And maybe at a chippy from somewhere in Belfast.
Chippy Benno.
Yeah, I kept calling it chipper. I thought they called it chipper in Belfast. I was told they don't. It's chippy.
Chinese
like
chippy, or is it like fish, chips, sausage, pie?
Nah, this becomes a problem. Yeah, I think there are some mixed ones there, but it's pretty much one or the other. So yeah, it could be either. Actually, there's some good Chinese and there's some good fish and chips type places. So there we go. Oh yeah, Ben's got flips in the fridge. That's what I was trying to think of.
Cinnamon in it. I seen that on the Discord.
Yeah.
Get them white fudge ones, mate. They were game changers. I can eat them like. They were absolute game changers.
Well, there you go. There's your Royal Rumble preview. Hope everyone enjoys the show. That's the stuff I'm excited for. Go on, Matty. You can go through the card. I'm trying to get images up, but I actually can't find any outside of the. They're just not bothering putting any together outside of the world title match. So we'll go old school. Run us through the card, mate. Let's do it here. Let's do it one at a time. Go on.
We'll start off with a match that, I mean, in 2025 isn't floating me boat, but it will be given time and it should deliver overall. It's a match for the WWE Tag Team titles. Best 2 out of 3 falls. It's DIY defending the titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. Like I said there, Ben, if this was 5 years ago, it could have been even better. But given time, I think this will get over. It should do on basis of the in-ring. Because once again, we'll say maybe a slight negative is, why does he persist with DIY, Benno? Like,
he loves them, doesn't he? Like his 2 sons, aren't you? Being embarrassed, aren't you? Yeah. It's like, you play for like a football team when you were a kid, and like the manager would play his son and he was shit. That happened in a couple of teams I was in, and it was like the son must be embarrassed. Like, why are you making me play when there's better players than me? If you were Gargano and Ciampa, you'd be thinking, I don't know if this looks good, that we're constantly getting these chances. Like, it's weird, isn't it? The whole thing's weird. It's like Sammy Guevara on the other channel and Tony Khan, inviting them. Didn't they invite Tony Khan to the wedding? And he constantly looks after them ever since, although there might be trouble in paradise now, I don't know. Same thing, innit? Like, their best years aren't even 5 years ago, mate. Might be 10. Just that. I wasn't interested in 5 years ago, though. It's another blind spot for me. 8 years ago, 2017. 2017, mate.
Okay, this time for you then. I thought it was 5 years. Yeah, there you go. That says it all. Oh yeah, 5 years ago was the match against each other. Cinematic match. That was horrendous.
And most of these machine guns are supposed to be like the aging veterans, aren't they? I mean, it's pretty much a wash. Kind of equal.
I will give it. Once again, I'm not like chomping at the bit to see this, but it might take a bit of time to get going. But I think once they get cracking, it should be okay. It should be
3.5 stars, mate.
Yeah. Good match then.
I mean, by WWE standard, it's not 3.25, is it? So, yeah, 3.5, I'll give it. And I presume Machine Guns win? Don't know.
I don't know, Ben. Genuinely, don't know. I mean, I think DIY retain, to be honest. Hunter's boys, aren't they? So, yeah.
Fucking hell, the heel run was 2019 with DIY.
Yeah.
6 years ago. It's awful.
But it will, as I say, it should deliver.
It'd be cool to see Mrs. Machine Guns, in front of 65,000 people. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it is.
Got a soft spot for Shelley. Maybe we'll get that singles run.
Been putting the decent work in and then inconsequential matches on SmackDown every week as well. So fair play to the lads. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, went from doing it in TNA to doing it on SmackDown.
You take the next match, man. You take it.
That's your job. Fuck off.
I do the one. You said you do. You said you will do one at a time. Well, I'll go
mate, you do one at a time.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you there. The next match is for the WWE Championship with the 2 belts. We've got the current title and the Winged Eagle Championship that Kevin Owens is carrying around, as Cody Rhodes technically defends against Kevin Owens. And this is one of them, Ben, foregone conclusion.
That's the problem with the Raw segment. That's the negative to the Raw segment. Raw segment got you more interested in the Mania, obviously, in the outcome of the Rumble match itself, but it killed Kevin Owens as a credible challenger.
Yeah, but you can, maybe, but like we said on, what was it, last show we were on,
Sounds like a negative.
I think that, but then you're coming out with a mega positive of the match, aren't you? Because we all said that the match would be better for the story. It's all happy that Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn would be for the title at Mania, but for the actual story and more layers to it, it shouldn't be for the title. Kevin Owens can drive that wedge deeper with Sami Zayn and go after him a lot more vicious than, he would if it was for the title. So I'm all for Cody Rhodes winning in that regard, but don't get me wrong, I'd love Kevin Owens to win because they just want Cody not to have that fucking belt when I go to WrestleMania. But at the same time, I want him to lose when I'm there, so maybe a win-win for me. I can't bear him overall, but I don't want him as the champion. Like, took it off Roman, didn't he? So I'm never gonna be happy with that one. I don't give a shit. It is to me. Damn it, I'll say it.
He's a great world champion, or could be if he was booked like one, and that continues to be the
Says it all.
But yeah, I do stand by, like, this has been his best feud, but I think Sid was totally right. Totally right in saying it's mostly Owens carrying the weight. That is also true. I assume Cody goes over.
Ben. He's been on autopilot some weeks, except for this week with a full Punk. I say he's on materials better.
Where's for you though? He's on autopilot in the way that you think he's on autopilot because this is month 12 of a 50-month run. So
he loses the belt at Mania. I think he loses no matter what. He loses at Mania. Yeah, he's got
to
it.
Who?
We'll see.
We'll discuss.
Which we'll go into with this men's Rumble.
He's 1 to 10, by the way. Thank you to Andy Ogden. I don't do 1. And 9 to 2 for Kevin Owens is 9 to 2. So yeah. Don't lump on Kevin Owens. I don't think it's you're gonna get your money back there, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, I think once again this I'm all for the.
He should have put the belt up on the Rumble. That'd be a Cody move, wouldn't it?
I'm all for the Roman's had to do that in the history, so he's copying him. But anyway, when we were on 2016, he entered number 1 as well.
No one remembers.
Yeah, I do. But we'll move on to the what was I saying about the you maybe lose your train of thought now. I was going to say about Cody, but anyway, we'll move on to the Women's Royal Rumble.
We'll talk about the possibilities when we get to the men's Rumble match.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. Announced so far as official entrants are Bayley, Nia Jax, the returning Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, and Lyra Valkyria. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 official entrants in the Rumble. You'll have your Ricardo.
I think it's a mix.
Raquel
to be fair,
Rodriguez is there as well.
We've got this from Post, who've kind of done a mix of people announced and people who've announced themselves. So it's not official, but based on promos and stuff.
But with every year for the Women's Rumble, it seems that you'll get more NXT appearances, you get more surprises and legends from the past more than the men's. I'd say overall.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously you could look to TNA for a couple of interesting
course as well.
Ones.
They will be.
Would be interesting. I just don't know. I don't know why I think it. It's not really based on anything other than just a gut. I bet this is a better match. It's just something about like the low stakes build of it and the low expectations of it and the lack of real interest in who wins this fucking thing. Because I'll let you guess because I haven't got one.
Well, I'll tell you who's going to win.
But I just think it'll surprise. I think they'll end up surprising you by the work being good and the surprises being good. And I'd bet on Nikki Bella being a surprise in there. Yeah. I think there's definitely smoke to that fire and it makes sense. Plus as well, she'd be better off doing that than actually coming back and wrestling matches. I think she's the type who should do a Rumble one and done and maybe a one-off at Mania or something like that. I don't think she needs to come back full-time. That there's really much a clamouring for that outside of Steph, who will be arguing with me in the chat, I'm sure. Who's winning it then? What's the giving?
Charlotte Flair's won this, mate. Come on, it's a foregone conclusion. Like, she's won.
Is it?
Unless Becky Lynch is going to be a surprise entrant to like play into that feud and history that she won upset and stuff. There's no other winner, Benno. Here and Tiffany Stratton is a WrestleMania
Texas
match.
Tornado, Lottie Flair.
It's a match that's just it's WrestleMania worthy, isn't it? Stratton v Flair, so that's what they're gonna go with, and
right.
That's a foregone conclusion, mate. Like genuinely, there's no one else. And look, the odds back it up. 1 to 2 odds on Charlotte Flair to win. Io Sky, which has been rumoured that is going to get the Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania. You've heard Bianca's getting the Rhea Ripley match, so that's up in the air who Rhea's going to be up against, which you can sort out at the Chamber, obviously. But yeah, Becky's there 3 to 1 as well, so you've just got to put your money on although Steph's disagreeing here, she's going with Becky Lynch in the chat. Charlotte Flair for me.
3-1 on Becky. Get the money in.
Yeah, get the money.
We'll put those bets on Steph. We'll do that Saturday. Sort them out.
I hate this plastic. You've always been the Lottie hater. She wore herself into Mania.
Got taste,
right itself, mate.
Classic ROH, man.
The past,
knows the stuff.
The future, the replacement for Charlotte, the most decorated champion against what they want to be most decorated in the future. Right itself, mate. Story. Come on.
EO 2-1, that's where you.
No, as I say, if only for the Raw side of things with Rhea, but no, I'd put all the money I had on Charlotte Flair to win.
Guess I'll do that too then. I'll just do. Because I really don't have a take. I don't. I'm ready to be sports entertained though, Matty. That's about that.
You got to take that.
Will Jade turn up?
Maybe
Jordan,
Ben.
Definitely. Jordan's definitely. Jordan, Nikki, definitely.
She's doing her best to play it down, as she said earlier on with the
Jade Final 4. I do that as a bet.
Well, Bianca's got to be in there then, and maybe reveal who attacked her with it is Naomi. You can't see Bianca. Was talking to my Steph about this, Ben. Like she loves Bianca Belair, doesn't she? She's her favourite wrestler, and it's like she's intrigued in that story of like, is Naomi behind the one? And it's like, yeah, and then she's like, maybe Bianca's like, you can never have Bianca as a heel. You can't have her attacking Jake.
Bianca would be the face of my division. Like, she just feels great. Marketable. She feels
she
current, to borrow a phrase for myself.
Career baby face though, Ben, as well. Never turn her heel. So it's got to be Naomi behind it, getting the tag title.
Lottie only has good matches with Rhea. The strap match could be ropey, Andy says.
Oh, no. That'll be like, no, Stratton's. Don't be wrong, I say it's foregone to be good, but it's one of them. If it's lightning in the bottle and they both hit it, like, I know you can say that about any match, but if that clicks, that'll be a good one, that one. So
Hogan's gone Becky. Platt says it's obviously Naomi from day one. Yeah, that's Triple H doesn't do swerves really, does he? He plots stories out and they happen. Yeah. Like that's.
I think Andy missed a couple of the Charlotte and Becky ones, and Charlotte with Asuka at WrestleMania, but it's all right, and I do like you, mate. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Believable, it's Andy. I get it too. That's how we treat our friends.
If we all forget, there's too many matches that we've got to take.
I've never forgotten a thing, mate. Other than WrestleMania 17.
I know fucking you.
All right, well that moves us on to the men's rumble, mate. Give it the big build up. It is the proper one this year, and that's through their booking.
And we've said it every year, don't get me wrong. We've said this, the story's gone into the past two rumbles where it's great, but we always knew Cody was probably going to win the last two, hadn't we? Going on to fight Roman at WrestleMania. And I've always said this, like, on the shows I've been on ever since about Survivor Series, that I see it as a negative where Triple H in years gone by has always had the WrestleMania half of the card with what he's done on telly, but we could predict it. But I'm actually turning on to him positive in this because it ties into this Rumble build. I'm excited that I don't know what's going to happen in a way. I never thought I'd say that because I'm like, oh yeah, this. But Ben, honestly, I can't tell you who's going to win this, and I can't tell you who's going to fight at WrestleMania. I can't say the undercard matches at WrestleMania. And I'm kind of like giddy about that, you know what I mean? Which people would say, well, you should be, because it's about, not knowing, but it's like...
Is it really not that obvious? Like, I was surprised at the pushback on Spotlight. Then, I've just assumed it's John Cena this entire time. Because looking at the odds, Cena's 5 to... Andy will give us probably better ones, but this is odds checker. Cena is 5-2, Punk is 13-8. But I just don't... I know SP3 kind of laid out how he thinks to get it around Punk winning, but who would Punk face? The winner's got to face the world champion. Like,
did you watch Raw, Ben? The season that Cody won? You're not having it?
I don't see it. I believe the reports that it's Roman Cody. I think it's still going to be Roman Cody.
Roman Cody 3, you mean?
Sorry. No, Roman Punk and Cody Cena. Because if you do that, I know that was the tease on Raw, but I didn't buy it. I thought, for me, it felt like a tease for further down the road. Because I just think, well, if you did it, what does Roman do? And that's too important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But this is what's great, and we're going to talk about this, so don't let me lose your chain of thought, because there's this many things going on. I know it's what you're saying is wrestling, but you look into it with it being CM Punk a bit more, don't you? He's guaranteed he's going to win and pick Cody. So if he does fight Roman, I always have Punk down as the heel in that feud type thing. But then Punk's got to get screwed not to win the Rumble, hasn't he? Do you get what I mean? By Roman. So is Roman going to lean into the heel? I can't see Punk just getting through out willy-nilly, and then he's you know what I mean?
What about the belt in that scenario?
Then, that's what I'm saying. But then, I don't know. But that's what I mean. So I think Punk might go against Cody. And is Rock and Roman still, a match that's going to happen and they haven't announced it or teased it? I don't know. Is Rock going to turn up? You know what he's like? He could come in any time, Ben. He could, couldn't he? But I mean, I just wouldn't have... I don't know with John Cena winning it, Ben. I mean, I'm all for him having his last his last hurrah, but I think it fits Cena if he wins in his last fight, me. I think if he wins the title in his last match in like December and he retires as champ's more fitting than him winning the Rumble and losing at Mania. I don't know. You know, that's me.
People pushing him back against Cena, I get it, because I think Sid's point on it was that, well, Cena can win Elimination Chamber and can get to a match with him that way. I could actually see that. That probably makes more sense, doesn't it, than having Cena beat the entire roster in a Royal Rumble. But I just asked the question again. I don't see another. It's the other matches are the problem. I just think Punk and Cody blows things up too much. I think it's just got to be Roman and Punk. I don't see another way.
But once again, I think
could Roman face Jacob Fatu or something? Maybe, do you think?
No, but Ben, the way they're telling the stories on TV is how many people want Roman. Like you were saying here, no one would want to see, especially you wouldn't want to see Roman and Seth. But you could easily do that. Drew's been saying he's going to come after Roman. You could do that. But as you say, Punk Roman's a bigger match than them two. But the way they're telling these stories, that's what I'm trying to say. This undercard, Ben, as you say there, if it is Punk and fucking Roman, if it is Cody and Cena, what does Drew do? What does Seth do? What does fucking insert Jey Uso, Logan Paul, Gunther? What do they do? See, you know what I mean? What goes on there? They've teased Gunther, Logan Paul though as well, like you said there. Would it surprise you if Logan Paul won the Rumble and then done the Raw and then they could fill the SmackDown side of the chamber? There's many ways they could do
I could
this.
see Gunther Cena.
Yeah, I could see that. But that match, I can see that match in my head. You know what I mean? You can just see it. Yeah. But like even like I don't know, we're saying there, like a Sami Zayn for this story, if he won the Royal Rumble and then maybe they have that on earlier and then it's like he comes out later on if Cody KO's the main event, you could do a little story there. There's a lot of ways you can go, but I honestly got turned. I'm thinking Punk's going to win after watching Raw. Maybe I'm naive, but I think he's going to win it now, Phil.
Sami Zayn, you can get really fucking good odds on. Is that 50 to 1? It can't be.
No, it can't be 50 to 1. No, it's not 50 to 1.
12.
12 to 1.
I feel like it's telling me Sky Bet's 40. 12 on Paddy Power, 28 on William Hill. Let us know in the chat.
Then if you're getting 5 or 4 on Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Sorry, go on.
No, you're the Fed fan. Go on, give us your theories.
But these undercards, like what I'm saying, they're kind of giving you these, and I don't think he does rematches loads, especially when it comes to WrestleMania. So we've had like Drew and Seth, we've had Drew and Sami Zayn on TV over the last couple of months, so they can't be a Mania match. You know what I mean? It's got to be fresh for them as well. So God knows, obviously KO and Sami Zayn's the only lock-in you can give to WrestleMania for me on the men's side. But the others, honestly, I'm scratching my head. Like,
if I had more belief Owens could possibly beat Cody, I could buy Sami possibly winning, and then
that's it.
But I don't. I think that feels set up, doesn't it, to be non-title? Yeah, that's the issue for me. It's like it's not that I think Punk by himself winning is unlikely. It's not that I think Roman winning by himself was unlikely. It's not that I think any of these other people winning by themselves is unlikely. It's the knock-on effect of what you then do with all the characters, and the biggest one being your boy Roman, because I just think they are never gonna let Roman have. Yes, you could put him against Drew. Yes, you could put him against like one of these last guys. Yes, you could do him in Jacob. You could do him in Seth. I don't think that's big enough for Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is working CM Punk, or he's working The Rock, or he's working Cody again. It's like that. And I don't think The Rock's coming. So that's what eliminates like those options for me.
But like we're talking about Roman Reigns there, like he's still got the fucking belt. That like, it's his WrestleMania. He's in the.
They treat him like he's their biggest star.
But could he win though?
Cody, both of them.
We haven't said he's going to win. You know, he hasn't got it. But as I say, either he.
But then what?
Him and Cody free, but then who just Punk?
I would have booked that. That's what I would have booked personally. You know what? You know I'm the Punk guy.
Yeah.
You know I'm the Punk guy, and I both think I would have booked it, and I also think in my brain Triple H is that boring that he would have booked it. He would have just went, let's just do it a third time and let's just keep making money. I get it. I get the logic. It's Austin Rock, innit? Let's just make more money again. Let's just do it again and do it the other way. He lived through it, didn't he? Do it the other way around with the babyface on one side, the heel on the other. That's what I would have done. I just don't think that is what they're doing. It's bad that you don't know either, though. Like that is interesting. Yeah.
But it was seen as was the favourite, and it is. But
he's come out now. Yeah, now it's Punk.
And I suppose that like you don't have to have seen a wrestling. He is in a Rumble. He could just lay there and toss people out, whatever. But. And I suppose it's a way, I'm talking myself into seeing now, it's a way of protecting him where he doesn't have to have matches on the way to WrestleMania. He's earned the shot. It's just all about this is my last chance type of thing. But As I
I
say,
think the thing I'm going to be working on over the weekend, because I will be putting bets on, is I think Gunther will be the world champion at Mania.
Yeah.
So I think there's a very good chance whoever wins the Rumble won't be involved in the Cody verse, the Roman verse, the Punk verse. It'll be whoever they're lining up for Gunther. And it'll be figuring out who that man is, whether it is Logan Paul, whether it is
I think
Drew or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to work out over the weekend.
But
I think that's where the money can be made on these bets.
If Roman doesn't win the Rumble, then his elimination will be the story of the night, won't it? Like a Punk, and then you can tease into that for that. It's old school 101. They used to book it. I'll throw you out in the Rumble. That's your WrestleMania match right there. We should get a few of them in the Rumble. But as you say, Jacob Fatu hasn't been officially announced for it. He's got to be the Diesel role this year, tossing people out left, right, and centre.
Oh, of course.
Before Roman probably throws him out, and then he could come back and throw him out. You could go to that. There's loads of things you can do.
Who's your Iron Man? I think Jacob most eliminations. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Sami Zayn or something.
Sami Zayn. It's got to be.
It's always
Sami
a worker, isn't it?
Or Seth. It's one of them two, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I said a worker. It's Sami. It's not going to be Jey Uso, is it? That's all.
He'd be there, you know.
Chad Gable, maybe.
Yeah, the emotions behind Jey with it. Yeah, Chad Gable could on the
if they believed him at all. That's the only problem, isn't it?
Not Shinsuke Nakamura, Benno, no.
Geordie on the women's side for most eliminations. I could see that. Iron Woman. Don't really have a bet. Don't know. Naomi. Maybe.
A lot of story though in this Rumble. I know we joke about that way, but there's a lot in this, and it should follow.
All the main characters are in it. That's the thing. The Royal Rumble feels important because all the main characters are interested in the Royal Rumble. Even Cody, who's got a match, and it has been to the detriment to that match. But both things can be true. Him like being like the target of Punk and targeting Punk on Raw just made the Rumble feel even bigger. It feels like. It's like, you know, when Poochie's not on screen, everyone should be talking about Poochie. This is old school WWF. Everyone is talking about the Royal Rumble. They should have used Saturday Night's main event to do those fucking promos and have the whole roster cutting promos about how important the Rumble is. They've made it feel important to all these characters. But we did say that last year, and then the match was up to fucking nothing. So let's hope people laid it out better last year.
We knew Cody was going to win, though, Ben. That's what I'm saying.
Punk was more of a possibility last year. Or equally a possibility as last year.
Well, I think this year it is more wide
fun,
open.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is good. That is good. So it should deliver. You'll get more story. You'll get everything coming out of it. So it will be newsworthy for sure. So, and Penta's in there as well, Ben.
Bron Breakker might be a dark horse for most eliminations or something like that. I could see that happening. Miko getting a one-off in the Women's Rumble. Could see that. Jay will be 1 or 2. Yeah, Jay and Jimmy 1 and 2, mate.
That's last year.
I know. Do it again. Fix it.
No, I think conspicuous by his absence, Ben, and don't say the word good. Your man Solo's been quite loud. Hopefully he gets in the Rumble this year.
Maybe he'll win it, mate.
Yeah, I'd love it. Like, don't get me wrong, but come on.
Again, these odds feel way off. 888 bet, 80 to 1. It can't be. It can't be.
For who?
For Solo. Even I'll put money on that. I'll put a quid on it. I feel like odds checkers lying to me.
Get each way, better. You get 20 to 1 each way, if he gets the final 4. Come on.
Yeah, I'll be putting bets on over the weekend. Let us know what your bets are in the Discord anyway.
But
that's the Rumble. We're very excited for it. Excited for the night. Always a fun time of year. Outside of that, we'll keep it brief. There isn't much going on worldwide this weekend. I think because the Rumble's on. Genuinely, I think it's a missable weekend. GCW have got a show on. That's got the Koga brothers versus Janellosaurus in the main event. Masha Slamovich is working by Myron Reed. That's interesting. Masha's going to be busy. We'll see. That is Saturday night though. No, it is actually same night, isn't it? Yeah. Saturday night. I wonder if that means she's out. We also have New Japan. I got a couple of road tours with a load of tags on. That's pretty much par for the course. We have in Europe again, slim pickings. GWF, JP's favourite run, Peter Hatani versus Mustafa Ali for the GWF world title. Maybe he can stay out there. Apparently Rambo's the champion, which could be a JP edit, is facing Jack Morris.
Can I tell you what is a JP edit though, Benno? I'll tell you what is a JP edit in an absolutely workers match. Legend versus the student. This is Magnum TA, Mr. Wrestling 2 all over again. It's Nigel Bond going up against Ray Reardon, Benno. Now that might have flew over your head because the 2 ex-snooker players, but that's who they are.
You did it, and you were supposed to be reading that out as well, so we thought you'd fall for that, mate. It wasn't happening, was it?
Come on.
Cheers. And Rev Pro got a show. Kanji versus LA Taylor, Stephen Wolf versus Will Caven, Robbie X versus Kuro, Leon Slater versus Leon Cage in the Battle of the Leons, Zoe Lucas versus Sapphire Reed, the Young Guns versus the Barcelona Blacklist, which is Joey Torres and Cito Sanchez. Hopefully I haven't fell for one there. And the one called Manders versus Ike Navarre. This from the 229 on Sunday afternoon. So yeah, if you fancy more wrestling after the Rumble on Saturday night, that's a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon. But that's actually it as far as the wrestling going on this weekend. JP's not added anything else. So yeah, watching wrestling, is that the plan this weekend, Matty?
No, Ben, I've got
snacks, all of that.
I've got a busy one, mate. I've got me delayed work Christmas night out tomorrow night, which got scrapped at Christmas Sunday. But then I'm right into...
Give it up, wouldn't you, at that point, mate? Once it gets to January, it's like, next Christmas, it'll be fine.
It's an excuse.
Surely you've escaped at that point, you've avoided it.
I don't mind it, Ben, to be fair, but it's into Saturday. Like, I'd be all for, like, sleeping all day. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, I did skip over that. Zoe Lucas back against Sapphire Reed on RevProd. Read the name out like it was any other week. That's cool. Yeah, good to see Zoe wrestling. Absolutely.
But I'm gonna usually I'd be sleeping the next day. You know, me hangover off, ready for Royal Rumble. But in Crosby, Benno, I am travelling down for 5:30 on Saturday evening. I've got a double bill in the famous Crosby Cinema, the old school, lovely cinema, the Plaza. That's it.
It's not famous, mate. It's not old school. It's just small.
Terminator 1 followed by Terminator 2 on the big screen. I'll be there, mate. I'll be there.
Sorry, when's this?
Saturday, R5, cutting it fine.
Fucking hell, mate. This is like you're organising your wedding on WrestleMania night. Are you sure about this?
I know. I'm already pre-booked my taxi for 10:30 to get home by 11 o'clock. So we did mention that it's 11 p.m. start time as well for us for the Rumble as well, which is
sorry, I meant to bring up. Hogan mentioned it. Our boss is that, by the way. 11 o'clock start. I was thinking that. I thought, well, we won't be able to get much done in Belfast on Sunday. Well, I'll be wiped out. Nope, be loads of time. Early bed in that time, is it? 11 o'clock. I like that. I don't know about that, mate. That's a tough one. That Plaza.
I know.
Spent most of my youth there. It's like a volunteer cinema, and like the screen in there is genuinely. I don't think they use the small screen anyway, but the small screen was 100 inches, which is the screen I've got downstairs.
They shaved it though, didn't they? They shaved it like because we're getting closed down or something, and they saved it. But it's cool. It's good that it exists. It's cheap. It's good. It's a DJ on and all that.
An ex-con might be serving you food. You know, it's one of those types of places.
We're there for the double bill of the two only. Well, I like Terminator 3 more ironically, but the only two Terminator films that exist in my head is...
I'd like to chat about this on the pre-show. I'll tell you some more stories when we go into that cinema. I'll save it for...
We'll be there on
pre-show. Where I spent most of my youth, mate.
I'll give you
first day ever going on the internet. I went to that cinema, just saying. So speed too. Great day.
We should print off them South Park wrestlers as well, Benno. Early doors on the internet.
Of course it was. Drawing me own, to be honest. Making me mates into South Park characters, all kinds.
Love it.
There we go. Watching Sunday Honest, Mr. BBC Licence Man. Won't be watching live. Wink, wink, says Platt. Oh, yeah, you need a licence if you're going to be watching Netflix on Saturday night. Fair warning to all, yeah. But yeah, we're doing that. Obviously, a Rumble 2001 show will be out as well for people to listen to if you're looking for some more entertainment. Footy's on, and yeah, I'll be knocking around Belfast. We're going to Bob and Bert for a breakfast. Should have a good scran of the week, I reckon. Strawberry Dime Bars. I'll try and bring you on back, Matt, if they're still on offer in the spot. Appreciate your support, mate. I expected to be slagged off, but thank you.
No, genuinely.
They are, however, actually being kept in Steph's mum's fridge. She did let me get away with that, so there is that too. But there we go.
Chocolate in the fridge is a must, Benno. Not crisp, but chocolate a must.
Fair enough. Yeah. Kenny's crib. The boss. Well, there you go. Whatever you're doing, folks, enjoy the Rumble. Always a fun time of year. We're back for Spotlight pre-show. I'll be along with Spotlight. I'll be revealing my dealer's choice as well. That'll be big time too. I'm glad Eaters on Saturday too.
And there's only one way we can end this podcast, Benno. It's 3, 2, 1. Have a good weekend. Let's all enjoy the Royal Rumble.
Good night, all. Have a good one. Name me 3 bad things about Terminator films. Not happening, is it?